Hey, this is Gamebound, a little series where we play random one-shots and whatnot. And it's been a while since we've been able to do any sort of one-shot with the Saturday crew, with the Wisconsin crew. So I'm excited to play something besides Crow Inquisitors. It'll be fun. We're going to do a Fiasco. So we're going to just do some, wacky improv acting for a few hours here. It'll be great. So we got Connor.
International. Caleb over here, the international RPG guy. Over here, mouse.
I can't hear you. Keep getting cut off.
Would it be transnational?
Probably. I don't know. I was just you were saying haven't done one shot with the Wisconsin crew. I was just over here, the international RPG guy.
That's true. I do have players from Australia sometimes. So, yeah. Cool.
Didn't mean my jokes take this much time away.
No, you're fine. I've realized that because of you're having the speaker of the laptop have the sound come through, anytime we talk and you try to talk right afterwards, we cannot hear you at all. So I have to keep that in mind.
I'll try and move to a real computer at some point here.
Cool. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to be playing Fiasco and going through the playset, Little Black Box. So
once you click on that little black box playset, you have to click download now or something.
Yes. So yeah, click download now, and then when that box comes up, click no thank you. Take me to the downloads instead of paying for it. It's like a donation thing.
Okay, here we go.
All right, cool. So, if you look at the cards here, right? You can see that we have little note cards with our names, and that will be where you write down the stuff that we're choosing here. The numbers on the dice on the corner here, are the options that you can choose. And as a reminder, you have to choose a category before you can choose a individual item within the category. So you have to decide, this particular type of item is what you have, and then someone else can come along and say, this particular item from that category. So
okay.
And so we'll go around, and everyone will have a relationship with the person to their left and right. So we'll each have a relationship with each other, and then a need object or location for each of us. And we have to have one of each on the board. And since there's only three of us, one will have a need, one will have an object, and the other will have a location.
Do the black dice have to be the black dice on the PDF, or can you use white dice for the black ones?
Oh no, if there's colors on the PDF, that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah.
That shouldn't matter. Everybody's either going to be enemies or it's going to be related to crime, because we have 3 5s and 2 2s for the black dice.
No, yeah, that shouldn't matter. The only time the colors matter is when you're actually handing them out. So that should not make a difference. All right, I'm just getting the PDF on my other computer here. Let me go ahead and read the breakdown again, like I read to you guys for the audience. So, this is a Little Black Box, a breakthrough discovery that changes everything. After years of experimentation and thousands in R&D costs bringing you to the brink of bankruptcy, you finally got it working. This is your ticket to some easy money, a house on the beach, and a chance to run with the big dogs. Only now the government is asking questions. The military wants to confiscate it for national security reasons, and your investors want their money now. It's time to put on your big boy pants, get out of town, or press that red button marked "Do Not Press Ever." In any case, it's going to be one heck of a ride. So movies that this references are Back to the Future, The Final Countdown, The Fly, Looper, Moon, The Philadelphia Experiment, Pi, Primer, She, Sneakers, and The Social Network. So stuff like that. So technology, conspiracy stuff, right? Is usually what we're dealing with here. It also has a note on time travel. Given some of the elements in this playset, it's entirely possible for characters to revisit scenes played out earlier in the game. Agree as a group how you want to handle this. One suggestion is to retcon the scene by playing it out again. If you realize that this will cause a temporal paradox, well, mucking about with the space-time continuum is bound to be messy. Try not to think too hard about it. How do we want to handle that? I think probably retconning it makes the most sense. It's like, this would be how the scene played out if we hadn't gone back in time the first time we did it, right? And then since we have gone back in time, now it goes this way.
Yeah.
Because then we don't have to remember how it went down, right?
Yeah. The only problem is we'll definitely be hard about it, but that would be perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, so it does look like the only difference here is like it has black dice for the categories and white dice for the specific things in the categories. I think that's just to differentiate them, not to say anything about what you have to choose. Yeah. All right, cool. So whoever would say again.
Who starts? Is it Caleb because it's his birthday, or is it the person?
Let's let Caleb start.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm the
GM will make it juicy, so
yeah. Okay, so let's take a look here.
So all of the 12 dice here are what we're using?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's just starting, or that's
No, so these will be the numbers on here will be what we choose for all the character web stuff.
Okay.
And the only time it will matter again to like change the numbers will be at certain points you can roll the dice to like decide like the midway point tilt and other stuff like that. And then you roll them at the very end to decide what your fate as a character is.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Adam, your mic is a little bit loud. Would you maybe see if you can turn that down just a tad?
Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay, I'm gonna go choose a relationship category of some sort. Let's get that started here.
1, 1, and 1, 3
are good ones.
No, I'm saying there's only one die that's a 1 and one that's a 3.
I see.
So there's one that you're like, ooh, that looks really good.
How's that? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's better for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do this. Let's give Connor and Adam the complicated relationship category.
There goes the
ones in there. Yeah.
And then I can't remember. Do we choose what that's defined as, or?
Someone will choose what that's defined as, depending on who decides to categorize it first, or specify it first. So it would be Connor next. As a note, the very last die is wild, so it can be anything. So if we run out of options, you're not stuck with the last option. You can choose anything.
So you mean like 6? Oh, you just mean the last die.
The very last die that remains. So basically, we're gonna be dragging these dice from the corner here to like different people. So we can keep track of which ones have been used. So I'm putting the 3 in between you two there.
I want so badly to choose on you from the future.
And you certainly can, right? Like you want to go there right away.
You're like the same age as me. I know.
Ouch.
Like I'm you from like a week from now, because like we're all like the same age.
Well, we don't have to be the same age.
Okay. Yeah. I was just saying like breaking the fourth wall. You're like, but you're the same age as me. Well.
The other one that looks super interesting is one of us is a clone, but which one? But I feel like that limits our character like differentiation a lot. So I think I'm gonna do I'm you from the future. There's a lot that can change with that. But I think that's our that's our 1 and our 3. So
amazing.
Get rid of those right off the bat.
Let's see. I can't see it. No, I can't see the dice. How do I?
You can. There's like a
zoom out.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I see it. So it doesn't matter what the colors are, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Connor and Caleb are enemies.
Okay. All right.
Like a relationship.
Okay, so we'll drag that 2 over here.
Yeah, but does that mean that Caleb is also from the future, or I'm?
Wait, hold on. Who did you determine is who from the future?
Oh, that's a good point. It does.
You haven't determined it yet. Let's not determine it, and like until we get all these on the board, right?
Well, like it would, if his future self hates him. I don't know. It's like they're enemies. That's why I was like, that doesn't really make sense. It's like I just hate my younger self.
I don't think we're all each other from different time periods, but
that would be a pretty dope.
Well, I'm saying you two are enemies, and so if he determines it's you, one of you is the future self.
I'm not enemies with Adam. I'm enemies with Connor. So for some reason, I hate one of the timelines and not the other.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Do we want to just like specify enemies here? What do we got on the board? 2, 4, 5, and 6.
Wait, sorry.
So you chose one.
Am I playing this wrong? Does it have to be a relationship between myself and someone else?
No.
No. You can choose anything for anyone.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just was like, I know you have to have a relationship with the people on your left and right, but I was just saying you two are enemies.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. There's some good options here. This enemy seems like it's pretty tied to the like technology stuff, where it's like someone, it's like your competitors, and you know what? I'm gonna leave that one for now. Let's give me and Adam a relationship. Romance. Let's see.
Wait, really?
No. So we've got complicated. We've got enemies. Could do crime.
Yeah, because if you determine a romance, then whoever you are, the other person's the person from the future.
Right.
So it's the same person.
Man. I really don't know. This is getting complicated fast. I
like married with a conflict of interest.
No, I don't think any of us should actually play a gal. Let's give us a money relationship, Adam.
Ooh. About the loan we gave you. It's fine. About that.
Yeah. All right.
Please don't make me be the IRS agent. I beg you. I love the IRS.
That gives us a pretty tight loop, right? Like, there's some sort of time travel technology. You have two versions of yourself, and then there's someone who wants to, like, you owe money or something, right? Because of the time travel stuff.
Yeah, it fits. Yeah.
Okay, Connor.
So
you can specify either of our relationships, or you can choose a need, location, or object.
Okay, I was about to say, do we have to define the relationships yet, or like before we move on? So I think
ETR.
That's funny. One of the tech options is the battlefield of a PvP server.
It's like, oh, that reminds me of this movie where they're all talking about this philosophical situation, and then like it's a philosophy class. They're talking about how would you survive a nuclear apocalypse? Who would you pick? Like who would be the ethical solution? And the whole movie is played out of them in the scenario, but it's all just like them talking in real life. And so the audience sees the actual situation, but they're discussing in the class. So I was just thinking, like, if like there's this tension happening in office, but they're actually just all playing against each other on a
right
video game, but it's like what's happening in real life is carrying out in this video game, and is like
that's some of my favorite media where they reference role playing games is when the game is like directly like the out of game drama is just as important as the in game drama. That's always fun.
They do that in Community. Remember when they do the Dungeons and Dragons?
That's what I was thinking about.
Like, he's trying to, make up with the sun or whatever, and he's like, "We're going to go a different way." That was good. That was a good episode. We were just talking about this.
The instant setup option that they give here, like if you just don't want to have to choose and you just want to like add in, get going quickly, is one of the 3-player relationships is complicated. One of us is a clone, but which one? And then the other 2 are current lovers and former lovers. So it's just like you were formerly lovers with the clone or with the other, right? Like, and then you're now lovers with the other one, and you're not sure which was which.
Either way, someone's in love with himself here.
I think I'm gonna give myself the need to get respect.
Okay. Need for respect. Go ahead and drag that die over.
Oh.
Keep track of which ones have been chosen.
Sorry, I'm using Mac, so
let's see. What are the dice? I'm gonna give myself to get the truth. Need
to get the truth. Okay.
Yeah. How about that night?
Yeah, I'd almost be inclined to immediately say that Connor must be the past version then, because that seems like a good progression from just a normal dude who made time travel technology and wants to get respect, and then once the time travel technology has been used and he goes backwards in time, then he wants to get the truth, right? Like that's a fun shift. I figured it'd conflict.
Be around. The person who's from the future is coming back to get respect.
I guess it depends on the options that are chosen.
Yeah. Because he wasn't respected, so he's coming. Yeah, he comes back to get respect.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, which one did you grab, Connor?
I grabbed the 4. Wait, what do you mean?
Oh yeah. Okay, 4 to get respect. Let's
and Adam grabbed
put that
5
on the ones that are like actually just for you. Let's put on your character sheet.
Okay.
So not that it really matters that much, but then, yeah. There you go. I just want to make sure that the dice were actually being used up properly. Okay. Let's see. Plenty of stuff to decide. Actually, Adam, you can't choose a need for yourself because we have to have one of each of the 3 types. And there's only 3 of us. So Connor chose first. So Connor does have the need to get respect, but you need to choose something different from the need to get the truth, because we need an object and a location. And one of us, between you and me, will have an object. The other will have a location.
We can do.
Okay.
What do you think is most important?
I think it'll be more interesting if we have all 3.
Oh, I meant that Adam wants to get the need. I can choose. I was looking at an object, an information object. I thought might be interesting.
I feel like need to get the truth is probably more dynamic, so that makes sense.
So I can't pick it, or someone's gonna pick it for me or something?
I can pick an information object instead.
For yourself?
Ooh, yeah. I'll do it. Yeah. Oh, right. I can't define it yet, but yeah, I'll choose the information object. Does it have to be a person?
What?
Does the object have to be attached to a person?
Yes. Needs, objects, and locations are all attached to a particular person. Just one person.
So that's the question. Should I give it to me or Adam? Or should I give it to you, Caleb, since we're enemies? Like, do you have...
I don't know what's on that list. Let me check.
So the interesting ones to me is definitely forged ID badge, since Adam and I are both, like, one of us is from the future. So, like, the thought I keep having is the forged ID badge. Who is on the forged ID badge? maybe Adam's need to get the truth is who's on that ID badge. That could be super meta. And the other one is the database at 500 million users. That could be a lot of things too. That sounds scary.
Well, also keep in mind you could just go unusual tech.
What?
Oh no, there's no 6s. There's only 1 6. Okay, never mind. And we're gonna have a time machine no matter what, so I guess it doesn't matter.
I was like, that's too. We can just decide that exists too.
Yeah.
I can't. One of us came back somehow. One of us at the time. The other one used it.
I don't have any preference for who gets the object, so whatever you want to
do. Yeah, I'll give it to you, Kib. I'll give you an object of information.
Okay.
So I'll drag the 4 over to you then. Okay.
So I'm picking the need to get the truth.
Need to get the truth. Yep.
Yep. So then it's Caleb's turn again, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's take a look. What do we got now? We got 4, 5, and 2.
Oh yeah, forged ID badge. I'm so interested in that.
I want to give you a location then, Connor.
Give me a location.
Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and do a tech location. That we'll get. Well, one of those will be an interesting place to set up this time machine, or something similar to it.
The battlefield of a PvP server.
Okay, could be. So tech location. No. All right, all you now. Everything is on the board. Now we just need to define things, right? So we need to decide what kind of enemies we are, what the money relationship with me and Adam is, what the object, location, and need specifically are.
It's Connor's turn.
Yep.
Yeah. You have. Oh yeah, we haven't decided what our enemy relationship is yet, and it's still 2, 5, and 4. Oh, those needs. Okay, there we go. Oops. Ooh, secret betrayal. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're doing it. Secret betrayal.
That's enemies. Okay, yeah.
So now it's just 4s and 5s.
Well, that was a 5.
Wait, what?
Remember, they have dice too.
You're right. My bad. My brain decided that it didn't want to function. Blame the Mac.
All right, cool. So
yes,
we are.
There's a 2, 4, and a 5. Or
2, 4, and a 5. And which relationships have not been defined?
Just the one with ours, money, the money one.
Money.
Money.
I don't really like any of those, so. Well, I guess we did talk about the loan that we gave you, but I feel like we need something more interesting.
If you if you're like, I really want something more interesting from this, and we don't have the dice for it, you can just wait until the last die.
Right.
Wild.
Right. I think I'm going to define my need. Get the truth. Oh wait. Oh, so it won't go wrong again. Oh man. There's no 4, is there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
I'm doing the 4 to get the truth, so it won't go wrong again.
Nice.
I love that. Because like, if one of us is the person from the future, is like, I guess I would be the person from the future, and I'm like trying to, we're trying to figure it out, almost like one of the what is it, source code, where just like the end already happened, and so he's trying to like figure out how it happened and stop it.
Cool.
Yeah. So
right.
infinitely more interesting than and get back in the game. For something.
Get back in the game.
Before anyone else does would have been a good one too, but
unless we did the player versus player battlefield, that wouldn't really make any sense. It's like, gotta get back in the game.
Right, yeah.
It's the whole Call of Duty team deathmatch is just a symbolic of what's going on in the company. CEO has a kill streak and gotta stop.
all right. Yeah, I'm just looking through these.
Yeah, there's still 2 left. I think a workstation without any power would be the best one for tech. Sounds ominous. And that could be the time machine too.
Yeah, that is interesting. I do like the sketchiest computer store in town, though. That's pretty funny.
Okay, yeah. Like, I have an idea, but I don't want to influence what's going on.
I mean, influence.
Just thinking, like you, kind of what you said, like the time machine, which we don't know about, is actually causing these power fluctuations, and we're like, why is it? What's up with the power? And so you have to like discover that there's a time machine, but then something goes wrong with it, but somehow, or something goes wrong with something else, and the time machine was like, it's one of those like loop things where he goes back in time, creates a time machine. Or he creates a time machine, goes back in time, and then creates a time machine in the past, and then, so it always sort of existed, and then he's trying to solve some other problem or something.
Or every time the power fluctuates, the day resets, like Groundhog's Day.
Ooh, yeah. Like no, I didn't figure it out. Wait.
Okay, yeah. So I chose that one, a workstation without any power. So go for it, Connor.
You have a 4 with location, right?
No, you had location. I have the information object.
Oh, you have the information object.
The 2 things that need to be defined with the 2 deaths remaining is the money relationship with me and Adam, and the information object that I have. And we only have 5s.
Oh man.
So one of those has to be a 5. The other one can be anything.
What's the tech? 5. Well, I guess the other one is random, right? Or can be random.
Server passwords is the information object, which that works.
What? And then the money relationship would be
whatever we want it to be, right? Oh yeah, with a 5.
Startup CEO.
Yeah, potential investor and startup CEO, which could work.
Adam, which one, if you were to choose first and it was the wild one, what would you choose for money?
Like, if I had all the options, you mean?
Yeah.
Because I was like, well, it's either 5 or 5. Probably deranged millionaire and Ward. I forgot, what does Ward mean again?
As in, like, their like, protege, their apprentice.
Yeah, like maybe the deranged millionaire. That's between like you're the deranged millionaire. I'm the future. Like, it's me from the future. Yeah, I would probably do something like that. It'd be kind of complicated because it'd be like the future you ends up being the protege of the millionaire, but they haven't like determined it yet.
Because the money relationship is with me and you. I am not one of you from the future, right? I am a different person.
No, I know. I'm saying I am, but there's some sort of connection between like you're the deranged millionaire, basically. I am. What's the relationship between you and Connor?
Secret betrayal.
It could be the same exact thing. Oh man, this messes it up because if I was the person from the future and I need to find the truth so that it doesn't happen again, I'd be the future him. But I guess wait, what was it? What did you say? Was it betrayal?
Yeah, secret betrayal.
Yeah.
Maybe it's connected. Yeah, like so because Connor and I are the same person, and so you betray him in the past. And I didn't know, and it's secret, so I didn't know about it. But then I find out, and it's somehow catastrophic. So yeah, I'd pick deranged millionaire. Basically, he's.
All right. I'll choose the server passwords then. That's fine.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, server passwords make sense.
Yeah, I feel like it makes more sense in the forged ID badge. I thought that was the coolest meta thing in the world. Who's on the
Right.
ID?
Yeah, that makes sense, right? You can use your past selves ID badge because you are them from the future.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking it's neither of us. Like the whole game, we're thinking, oh yeah, the forged ID badge is me from the future with my forged ID badge of, or Adam from the future with a forged ID badge, and it's his ID badge from the future because you have it, right? But uh, then we find out at the end that nobody's on the ID badge.
Okay. I think that's
Does that work?
overcomplicated.
Let's play it out.
So
Wait,
yeah,
it's my
money.
turn, right? I
Yep.
just get to pick a random thing?
Exactly.
Is it wild between any of the 6, or like it could be anything else?
It has to be one of the money relationships.
Okay. It was 5 anyways, actually. So wasn't it?
No, it's the one you chose was 4.
If that's the only one you want to choose.
CFO and personal assistant. It's like the same. Yeah.
So I'm thinking if I was going to choose this, I would choose about that loan we gave you because I think that immediately. Well, I guess I have a secret, but yeah. I feel like there needs to be more conflict, like more like easy, simple conflict between you. Like me personally, I think this story is about a guy with a time machine who gets into deep trouble and has to go back in time to fix his mistakes, right? And so I'm the guy who's like pressuring you with like, yeah, the loans we gave you, or I should be like some sort of benefactor of some sort. That's what I'm thinking.
Sure. Yeah, we can do that. I'll do about the loan we gave you.
Right. That makes me an easy antagonist to the two of you. Cool. So then I guess the question is, what are our names and who are we actually? We got to figure out what this web of relationships means now.
Could we add some sort of way where he doesn't know that I'm him from the future?
I just wear a trench coat.
Yeah. Well, so
why are you always wearing a trench coat?
before you choose about the loan we gave you, I think deranged millionaire and word works really well too. If Caleb's the deranged millionaire trying to get you to make a time machine for him, and then you end up get to go back in time.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like if I was thinking if Caleb was the deranged millionaire, that's how I was picturing it.
That could work. I the thing that I'm wondering about is what does secret betrayal do then?
The secret betrayal is I use the time machine for myself and go back in time and become
Adam.
you
betray me, right? Okay, I was always thinking that I betrayed you, but yeah, that makes sense. Sure, we can do that.
And I think the deranged millionaire has something to do with like some nefarious like plot with the time machine, and so it's like, oh, he's crazy, like a grander thing. It's like, oh, we need to stop him. Or
yeah, I'm trying to like win the lottery or control the world or something.
Yeah, something.
Okay, cool. Adam, I don't know if you know that your camera's off.
Oh shoot,
intentional or not?
Wait, no, it's not. There we go. The shutter.
Yeah,
oh, I must have like pushed the shutter, I guess. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
My shutter is electronic.
Yeah. I figured it was something like that. Okay, cool. So that makes sense, though. That seems like a pretty tight loop. I'm the millionaire, the deranged millionaire who is like giving you all the funds to make the time machine, and you use the time machine instead of you because I wanted to use the time machine, right?
Okay, yeah. So I want Connor to come up with his name first. I have my reasons.
Okay. I got to figure out who I am. Let's see. What's a good millionaire name generator? Here we go. Royal Posh Names. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Okay, my name is going to be Alistair Bainbridge.
Alistair Bainbridge. Alistair is such a rich person name.
Yes, I quite literally looked up like rich person name generator. So
Chris Welch.
Chris Welch. Like that?
Yeah.
Cool. Adam? Chris Welch 2?
No, I'm going to go by Christian.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So like, I don't want everyone to know. So I'm like, oh, my name's
Oh, yeah,
Christian.
that's so different.
My name's
He's like, my name's Christian.
Nice. Just Christian? Like you don't have a last name? Like what you wouldn't go on.
Okay. His name is Christian Table. Because he's like, my name's Christian Table. Like he like
okay, perfect. We'll have to get that moment for sure. All right, cool. Well, let's throw all these dice in the middle again.
Yeah, he walks in with those like really the party masks where it's like a nose and a mustache. He's like, hello. Like, that's not fooling anybody. What do you mean?
So should we all agree on what these things are together, or like the workstation without any power that's not attached to mine? Can I just decide what that is as we go forward?
Or you have a better idea?
Yeah, I would think so. A lot of those could probably just be like stuff that we make up as we go, right?
Okay, that's my question. Yeah.
Yep. We need to figure out the like actual like character web. But like I think the rest of it makes sense to just kind of go with the knowledge that these are going to come up. So, all right, cool. So the way the fiasco works is, I'll go ahead and start a scene, because I was the person who went first last time, and we just keep going that same order. And I can choose to establish or resolve. So either I can choose what the scene is, who's here, or I can decide how it ends. I will probably just establish. I think we can do like, my $1 billion mansion or whatever, right? And let's see. I guess this is the question: do we want to start like? At what point in this story are we actually beginning?
I think you should tell him about the like, I think it's before you've actually told him you want a time machine. But he probably doesn't know how. And he's like, I want you to build a time machine. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, that was my question, is like, do we want to start before the time machine had even been built? But I guess we can, because like even...
we're talking about time travel, so it could be both.
You could always come even before you built the time machine. So yeah. Okay, yep, that sounds good to me. Let's do that. So I think we'll have Connor and me. So I've called Chris Welch to my office, my study or whatever. And I guess here's the question, Connor. What kind of ward are you? Like, is this just like I'm your benefactor? Is this more of a Batman Robin situation? Are you like related to me in some more particular way? Like, did I know your family? Okay, here's an idea. And I don't know if you can hear me, Connor, but here's an idea. What if your family works for me, either for my company or for like me personally, and I've taken interest in you from since you've been a young boy, and you've always been like super smart and intelligent and technologically savvy, and I've recently like taken you under my wing and given you funds particularly.
What if like you were onto something, so you already have like an idea of like how to implement it, but you don't know how to like execute it, and and because you think he's smart, you're like, I think you can finish this. You're like, because you're obviously a millionaire, so you're pretty smart too, but you're just like, I've started this, but I haven't got it to work. I think you can get it work.
I want to be dumb.
You want to be dumb? Okay.
Well, not dumb, but I don't think I'm technologically savvy enough to do this myself. I think I'm just smart enough to mess it up. but not smart enough to do it myself.
Well, I was just thinking, is there something that he's like going off of? Because it's just like, oh yeah, build a time machine. Or he's like, or maybe he like stole plans from someone else that was like beginning the process.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say that I stole plans from someone else, like from a
Or,
competitor.
or you could say like you stole it, but you pretended like, oh yeah, I came up with this.
Maybe. Yeah. Okay, so either way, I think this is Chris Welch coming into the office. Adam, would you like to already be here or show up at some point in the scene, or otherwise I could cast you as like a butler or something, which could be fun. That's something that can also happen. Is whoever establishes gets.
I think I'm incognito right now. I think.
Okay, I think I want you to be the butler though. Like as you're the butler incognito. I'm like
wearing glasses and a fedora.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And maybe you even have like a beard too, so you like an extra, extra level of looks different. And I think I'm that type of deranged millionaire who does not remember the names of his servants. So at some point in this scene, I'll probably ask you for your name, and you'll be like, "Oh, your name is Christian Table," right? Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, Chris, you walk in, and this is like a really expansive study. There's like a giant flat screen TV that covers like half a wall, and it's showing like a fireplace. I'm sitting in a lounge chair in the middle of like a kind of like tile floor, and there is I'm like sipping some sort of alcoholic drink, looking at this giant TV screen of a fireplace. There's like a tiger print rug beneath the chair, and I'm just kind of sitting. And the room is super big, and it has like a bunch of books mostly for display, but also like knickknacks and other things like on display around. It's supposed to be a study, but really mostly what I do here is I come here, sit and look at the giant TV and drink like a margarita or something, right? Or a mixed drink of whatever sort. And so you're walking in, we hear your shoes, like your shoes on the tile are really loud because it's like just a huge room. And what we see Adam's character in the corner. And both of you can feel free to describe yourselves how you look. I guess actually real quick, Alistair Bainbridge is an older gentleman. I'm thinking old Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond is what my mind immediately went to. So like older dude with a chiseled jaw, clean shaven, and he is sipping on a mixed drink.
Plot twist, he's Batman. Whoa.
And he probably is in like a big bathrobe or something.
Deranged millionaire, it fits.
Exactly, yeah.
He's Batman.
When I saw Deranged Millionaire and Ward, I was just like, oh, so Batman and Robin, right? That's what that is. So yeah, Connor, what does Chris look like?
I think he's probably like, I don't know, how young would you hire him? Is he like 19? Would he be like 19?
I was thinking that young. I was thinking 20.
That's probably like 30.
Or yeah, maybe 30.
Because he has to be like smart enough to actually design this thing. Is like, is it like,
Yeah, I would think that like you this is your first big break, and you've been having like a struggle in your own career for like several years now, right?
And you said you haven't told me to build the time machine yet?
No. Yeah, I've called you here for something special, and I think you probably like either work for my company or let's just say you just work for my company, which is like some sort of tech firm. And like this is the equivalent of like you're working at Subway and the CEO of all Subways like calls you to his office.
So he's a young or adult, it's unsure if he's like mid-20s or like early 30s, he's got that attractive young man look about him.
Mm-hmm.
He's clean shaven. He's got kind of light brown hair. He's probably wearing like a sciencey like lab coat. And it's got some like
are there other types
ominously
of lab coats? What? Are there other types of lab coats?
Yeah, the ones that other people use.
The
So
athletic,
he's got,
the athletic one.
Yeah, the athletic lab coats.
yeah, when he goes to the gym. Yeah, he's got some like ominously looking like red blood stains on his lab coat.
Okay. Is this something that I would notice as odd?
mentioned.
Well, I'm asking Connor, is this something I would notice as odd, or is this like...
What?
Are you trying to... Basically what I'm asking is, are you trying to
Yeah, dude,
establish
blood
something
stains.
about my company, or or is this odd, and I would point it out?
I think it's odd.
Okay. Yeah, so I say, oh, Chris, have a seat. Oh, what
Yeah.
happened to you? What happened? Sorry, go ahead.
He just says sure.
What happened to you? You go to a butcher shop?
Yeah, he's like looking down at your like really nice looking chair, and he's like looking at his lab coat, like I don't think I should sit down. And he just kind of like awkwardly like crouches next to it.
I say, Chris, we have people for that.
Okay, yeah, he like nods and just like really uncomfortably like sits down in it, but trying to like put as little of his body weight on it as possible. And
I wouldn't. My maid wouldn't have a job if I didn't get some bloodstains on the couch every once in a while.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like a mimosa, sir?
Yes, thank you. Of course. Chris, what do you want?
Just water, please.
No, come on. Let's live it up a little bit here. There's no one around. Your boss isn't here. I'm your boss now.
Perhaps some grape juice then?
I just roll my eyes.
As you wish, sir.
He nods towards you, towards Christian. And
I walk away.
Yeah, and he says, the blood stains are from a side project I'm working on. I'm trying to prevent a few different diseases with some DNA testing I've been doing. I'm just trying to save people's lives.
Really? And you're both an expert in DNA and quantum physics?
Well, the quantum physics is what I'm trying to use to fix the diseases, or cure them, I should say.
And I try to look like I understand. I'm like, I see. Well, I could see how those two fields might intersect. So, Mr. Welch, you may be wondering why I called you here today, and I'm curious what you're thinking. Why do you think I called you?
You have a question for me, sir?
I do have a question for you. It's a little bit more expanded than that, but the question might lead us into some interesting places.
Your cranberry juice, sir.
Thank you. He just takes.
Because you asked for grape juice, didn't you?
Yeah.
I think it's just like you got the wrong one. It's like because he wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
So I say,
he like takes and like because our tongue drinking it because it's so tart.
Right. You got a problem there, Mr. Welch? I think you more than anyone would understand the taste of grape juice.
I just brushed my teeth, and he like sets it down.
Of course. I'll get right to the chase here, Mr. Welch. I have stumbled upon something rather brilliant, if I do say so myself. And I need someone who can work directly under me to take advantage of this opportunity. It, I think, would intersect with your fields nicely. Quantum physics is something that you've been working with at my tech firm for some time now. We're breaking new ground everywhere in the tech industry. And I think it's time to break a little new ground. Break a little more ground. What do you say?
Uh, sure, of course. What will we be working on?
And then
he's like, well, I don't know if I have the time. He's like, time. That's exactly what I like talked about.
No, I think you say like, what is it? And I say, I just start snapping towards you, Adam.
Do I have like a briefcase or something with like?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, he lays it on like the table between them.
Exactly. And then I look at you. I'm like, open it. You think I'm gonna open it? No, open it. Yeah, and there's like blueprints, right, for a time machine inside, and it's not necessarily it's not necessarily clear like what type of device it is, but it does look like a time machine of some sort. And Adam, you come up with it. What does it look like?
I think it looks like a it's like a circular pod that it looks like a ring from the top. It's only about probably 5 feet or maybe like 7 feet in diameter, and it's got a bunch of cables connected to it, and it some sort of circular beam that goes around it. I don't know. That's what I had a picture in my head. So it's like you're looking at it top down. It just kind of looks like a circle, but you can tell it's some sort of like almost like a pod that's spherical or not spherical. Well, I guess it would be spherical. That might be kind of interesting, but it's more like cylindrical, almost like a vase shaped.
And Connor's character looks at me and says, "I will not eat the bugs. I will not live in the pod."
Did say it looked like John the Baptist. So.
Yeah, so I just like I'm like, look over it.
Yeah, he grabs the file and is looking through it, and he's like, sorry, Mickey was listening to it, listening to the stream over there, so I was getting
doubled,
confused hearing my voice. Yeah, he like starts reading through it, and he's like, this is, and like the camera like zooms up on him. He's like, this is for time travel.
Yes, exactly. Quite. Can you do it, Mr. Welch?
This would take possibly a lifetime of work, but I'm willing to try. I mean, the lives that could be saved from this. I mean, we could.
I'm going to need you to do it in 2 weeks.
Well, he coughs after he says, "This could save thousands of lives." He's like, "Apologies, sir."
And I look back at you. I'm going to need you to do it in 2 weeks.
I don't think that's a realistic.
There's a very important project that cannot be done properly without this technology. If you are able to unlock the secrets of time travel, Mr. Welch, not only will you be an incredibly rich man, but you'll change the world forever. And you'll have done me a great favor. I'll, of course, give you all the funds you could possibly need, and while you're working for me, you will be paid a salary of $1 million, $1 million a day.
And he grabs the cranberry juice and like takes a couple of big gulps and then just starts like coughing a bunch.
Careful with the file.
I just had. Oh man, I just wanted to let you guys know I had a great idea. But I'm not going to say anything. I just want you to know that I have an idea of where this all started.
Sounds good.
Of course, I'll try my best. I hope you understand that this might not be possible, and I want those expectations set up front. That if I fail, I mean.
Mr. Welch, I have it on the best authority that it is possible. And, well, you're being hired to bring this dream to reality for us. If you are going to refuse the offer, if this is not something within your capabilities, then I'm happy to have Mr. And then I snap at you again, Adam. I'm like trying to remember your name.
Christian. Christian Table. Ryan Table. He starts to say round table. He's like, Ryan Table. Christian Ryan Table, sir.
The butler will see you to the door.
Yeah. I think he says, I'm sorry, sir. I would need considerable forces and workers at my disposal, and I would need resources. I mean, I would need an entire lab, and I just don't think it's possible for me to be able to come up with these things in 2 weeks.
Mr. Table, the button, please. And I think you bring over like a glass case with like just a big red button. And I take it out and I hold it up to you, Mr. Connor, and I press it. And the one of the walls, like the wall directly behind you, just like starts opening up. And I'm like, this is where you'll be working, Mr. Welch. I say like a little bit louder because of how loud the like is. It's a state-of-the-art facility with everything you could possibly need. You'll have all the manpower you could ever possibly want, and $1 million a day to boot. Your funds are near unlimited. Can you accomplish this? Yes or no?
No, I can't.
You can't.
I can't. I could. It's possible that I could.
But of course, he should consider the night to think about it. He's looking at Alistair like, just let him think about it. He'll come around.
Yeah, I'm looking at you like, what are you, like, know your place, Mr. Butler, dude. I look back at you, Mr. Welch.
He's like, would you like another refreshment? Like, he's like, would you like another refreshment?
Yes, give me a scotch, Mr. Table.
Okay.
I'm looking back at you.
Yeah, I'll have my answer to you by tonight.
By tomorrow morning, 8 a.m.
Okay, yeah.
Very well, Mr. Welch. And then I snap to you again. Mr. Table, bring up the other briefcase, please. And we open it up and it's just full of like $100 bills. And I just slide it to your side of the table. And I just say, a little incentive, free, just for you. Even if you decline, it's going to be yours. Something to think over, though. Something to help you think it over.
I'll do it.
I smile, kind of a wicked grin. It's like, see, and I look at you, Butler, again. There's nothing that money can't solve. There's no problem that money can't overcome.
Actually, maybe he doesn't say it. Maybe he still wants to sit on it. I think he might want to. I think he might be thinking, "Wow, if I have this money, I can just finish my other disease projects." Mm-hmm. So I think he's still going to say. I think he's still. Yeah, I think he's tempted the other way.
I think it would be interesting if the next thing you get is you're thinking it over, and then Adam comes and finds you, right? Yeah.
Wait. I come and find him.
I'm thinking for the next scene. Yeah, I'm thinking for the next scene. It might be interesting if like Connor's thinking it over and you come and find him and you're like, no, you have to do it, right? Or whatever, right? So, but I think this is like the end of the scene. If you're just to like think it over, I'm trying to decide, is this a good, bad, or neutral scene for me? You guys get to resolve.
I mean, I think it's a neutral because we don't know if he accepts yet.
That's what I think. Okay, cool. So I get a black and a white die, and I can give them away to whoever. I don't keep them this time. I will, and again, black and white dice. Obviously, they represent good and bad. But when you are rolling at the end of the game to decide how your character ends up, all you want really is the most of one color. It doesn't matter which color it is.
Right. Yeah, I remember that part.
Mixed colors.
Do you necessarily? Oh, so you don't give up? Because I was thinking like it. Whether it is a neutral ending, but will determine next scene whether or not it was successful, or is it just like
so? This is a house rule of ours where because we're giving out 2 dice at once, you can have it be mixed, right? A black and a white die. So I'm just gonna give 1 to each of you, right?
It's black. Oh wait, it's all just one color, right? So it doesn't matter.
One color is all that matters. Yeah. But yeah, that's my scene. Connor, would you like to establish a resolve? And as a reminder, the way this will work out is we'll do 2 full turnarounds. So after Adam's scene, we'll do that's the midway point of the game, and we'll do like a roll on a table to add in a twist, and then do 1 more turnaround, and then end on Adam's last scene. So
I'll resolve.
Okay. Well, I think I already established it, right? By saying what I said earlier. I think what happens is this is Chris Welch thinking it over, right? And maybe we see him go back to where he lives or whatever, and I'm thinking that like Adam either like is broken into his house. Well, you don't even need to break into his house; it's your house too. I think maybe Adam is waiting for him in some capacity, or shows up or something, and you're like not necessarily that you reveal that you are him from the future yet, but like you're like the mysterious figure who's like, no, listen, you have to do it, right? That sound good to everybody?
Yes.
Cool.
The real question is Christian Table going to show up as Christian Table, the butler?
Oh, I'm still the butler.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I feel like I kind of run, like a butler kind of runs things, sometimes Alfred would, do things for him. That's kind of what it is. It's like, oh yeah, I'm pretending like I'm doing it in the best interest of my master, but really I'm trying to persuade you to do it.
I was that wasn't my question. I was wondering if maybe you're creating a third personality and you're like now.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it'd be weird. It's like, oh yeah, wait, what's the butler doing here? Like, I feel like it might at least at ease you a little bit, as opposed to like, oh my gosh, there's a person in my house. I don't know who it is.
Yeah. So I think what we see, Connor, is we see Chris get into his car. What does his car look like, by the way? How nice of a car or not nice of a car is it?
It's like the most economical car possible.
Yeah,
he's been trying to scrape by and putting all of his money into his
Corolla
and stop diseases.
Mm-hmm. And so we see you drive away from the giant mansion, and then
I'm in the back seat.
Are you in the back seat?
Yeah,
I was gonna say that maybe we see you like follow him in the limo or right.
Oh yeah, okay,
like,
okay.
We see you get like you're watching him leave, and then you get in the limo and follow him. And then we see, like the classic scene of like Chris, he's like worn down, thinking about like, oh man, I could do so much with that money. He's carrying the briefcase. He fumbles with his keys, unlocks the apartment, goes inside, turns on a light, and then is the butler just sitting in like a chair?
Yeah, still with his glasses. He's still got his glasses on, like his shades on. They're like the little circular shades, like the little tiny ones.
So Connor, did you hear that description?
That's what the butler looked like. He's got a long beard. He's got a fedora on. He's got sort of a nice like tuxedo thing. And he's got the little tiny black sunglasses.
Amazing. I'm imagining your character is played by Jeremy Irons.
I didn't catch where the butler is. I didn't catch the.
So
yes.
I'm thinking we well, I guess then both of you be played by Jeremy Irons, but still, that's who the person you're pretending to be like.
Well, I'm probably like 25 years older than him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that works.
So he's like 25, and maybe like I'm not like old, but I'm old enough where it's like it's enough of a difference.
Yeah. So Connor, I described Chris like fumbling with his keys at his apartment or whatever, unlocking the door and then turning the light on, and then the butler is just sitting in the chair.
Yeah, he panics, drops the keys, like screams kind of like a girl, and then picks up the keys and tries to like meticulously put them in between his knuckles that he's like trying to be ready to fight or whatever, but like is struggling with it. He's like, wait, stay back. He's like trying to put the keys in his knuckles.
Calm down, Master Welch. I mean you no harm. I mean only to speak with you.
Wait, you're the butler that served me cranberry juice.
Yes, my apologies for that. I wasn't paying attention to the drink request at the time. I'm here to persuade you to accept this offer. Not by means of threat, but by means of incentives. Not just financial, but to put things in perspective for you.
What kind of perspective?
I'm here to tell you that I believe it is your destiny to create this machine. You of all minds, it's like flattering you. He's like, but it's actually, it's always like, it's like, you have a gifted mind, Master Welch. I've seen your work. But imagine what you could do with this time machine. Oh wait, should I be the one to persuade to betray him? Or at least like, okay, yeah, I'm going to say it. Like, you yourself are a man of great ethics, defending humanity and finding cures for various diseases. Imagine what the power you could do if you had taken these discoveries and taken them to a different time. Perhaps we could advance much farther in technology, although it would change many things. Perhaps it could accelerate any progress we might achieve in the next 20 years. What are your thoughts, Master Welch?
I think my time would be best used saving people's lives by curing diseases. My research is provable, testable, just needs to be repeatable now.
Of course, but what if you could take those saved lives and save the ones who have already died?
As soon as you start thinking in those terms.
Why are you British? Oh, I guess we're both British. I'm faking it. So.
I guess I just started adopting it since I'm you. Yeah, I guess he's not.
Oh, yeah, I got it. No, go ahead.
Thinking in those terms, nothing matters anymore. All that matters is what can we achieve with time travel.
This is much more than you. This is much more than you, sir. He kind of like slips up on his accent. He's getting like frustrated, like trying to convince you.
Listen, I appreciate that you see me as this great quantum physics scientist.
Very well. I suppose I can't force you to change your mind, but I ask that you sleep on it. And I think he walks towards the door, kind of walks past him. He's like, we do believe in you, Master Welch. I believe you'll come around. After all, he's kind of like looking over his shoulders, like time flies when you're having fun. And then he walks out.
What is this is your scene, Connor.
Hold on, I think he says, do you really think I'm capable of this? I mean, assuming it's even possible.
Oh yeah. He says, as a matter of fact, Mr. Welch, I know that you can do this.
And what happens when I do?
Only time will tell.
I hate you, Adam. You're just gonna make time puns the entire game.
We're talking about a time machine.
Oh, this is awesome.
But it's like that's like both like a play on words, but also literal. Like only time will tell. Like what can you do? But I think what he needs to do. He needs to convince him to want to do it. But it's what he does with it afterwards that he needs to be like more aggressive because he needs to like not be like, you need to do this and like freak him out or something. He can't change certain things. And I mean, just from a narrative perspective. So that's why he's like convincing him like, oh yeah, you could do all this stuff. He's really just lying. But nobody knows that.
So I get to decide the resolution. As in, do I decide whether it's good or bad for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You can say like, no. I mean, it's like,
I think it's bad for me, right?
yeah, because you don't want to really.
Yeah, I think I'm being
pressured into it.
So I think I'm being manipulated into this by outside forces that I don't understand. So I think it's technically bad for me because my goal is to just save people's lives, and I don't think that's where this is going. So I think it's bad.
Sure. All right. So you get 2 black dice. You can give them to whoever you wish. And you can split them up.
All right, Kale. I'm going to tell you what the idea I was thinking. The great idea, but it does matter because your character is a part of it.
I'm going to give them both to Adam, I think.
Oof. He has a white die.
I think Adam. I think Christian Table is making things complicated for himself. So I don't see this ending well for him.
Yep, makes sense. Oh my gosh, Adam. Oh, Adam.
Is that good or no?
No, that's perfect, but it's gonna make no sense, but it's gonna be awesome. I guess you going back in time has changed things, so that can make sense.
Right, it's all mixed up. It's all messed up.
Yeah. That's funny though. Okay, cool. Adam, it is you. Establish a resolve.
I'm going to choose to resolve.
Okay. Connor, we have an idea for a scene.
I'm kind of like the secondary character anyways. Like I'm like controlling because that's exactly what I'm doing. My character is trying to control what happens.
I mean, either way, this scene revolves around Christian Table here.
Exactly.
But I guess the question is what is this scene about? What do you think, Connor?
I think it's about him sabotaging something in Alistair Bainbridge's either in the lab, he's sabotaging something in the lab, he's changing something in the blueprints or something like that. He's trying to snoop and interfere.
Okay. Does that make sense to you, Adam?
Well, I guess we should let Adam decide what he's doing, but we set the scene.
I'm resolving
back into the. What?
Yeah, so I guess my question is like, what are the other characters doing when Adam's doing this, right? Like, is this Chris Welch's? Like, are we advanced in time and Chris Welch is just working on the project now, or is this before that happens? Adam is.
We could add them together. Like, I mean, do we have to have like a specific scene? We could just be like,
yes.
We could just have like an excerpt of him being like, okay, I'll do it or I won't do it. And then we cut to him doing it or something, or him telling him.
It's not like he is doing it.
Okay. Yeah. So we could just have him like, or yeah, I guess we could cut to him doing it.
Because I think that maybe what we can do then is have Welch is working on stuff in the background and you're sabotaging things. You're trying to tweak things so it goes the way that you want it to go and not the way that it went in the past. Question mark.
Or I have an idea. We could set the scene where Christian Table is trying to sabotage things, but at the same time, Chris Welch is accepting the offer, but he's not coming 8 a.m. tomorrow morning like he was supposed to. He's coming early. So like Christian Table is trying to sabotage it while there are people while Alistair and Chris are like he's accepting the deal, and maybe Alistair's like, you can get starting on work right away then. And he's in there like messing with stuff like,
Okay, yeah, and then we could walk in on him maybe. Okay, yeah, sure. So what are you actually doing then, Adam? Like what's the tweaking you're trying to do?
I think okay. I want to speak without revealing anything. I think it looks like he's. Would you say that the plans are already in the lab?
Yeah, sure.
It looks like he's trying to like scribble them out. Like he's trying to like cover it up, like mess it up.
You're just trying to ruin the plans entirely?
Like the blueprint for the
this is what I'm curious about your motivations, because like you told him he needs to do the time machine. And if you're just ruining the plans, then you
no. I'm not actually ruining them.
Right. So I'm asking, are you changing them then? Is that what
I'm tweaking them? Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I was thinking he's scribbling out the real blueprints and is going to create like fake blueprints. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, but still, like, I want you to create them. I can't prevent you from creating them.
Right. Then you cease to exist.
I mean, we could say
Yes.
we could say that like I'm imagining that like we see Christian Table walk up. He's we see the butler, right, like walk into the room, and he's like looking at some things, and it looks like he's maybe just tidying up, and then like you open the briefcase with the plans in it, and then like you grab like from behind like your back like a tube with new plans, right? And
that's why I was thinking like maybe he was scribbling it out because he's actually just gonna like modify them because he's actually like secretly perfecting it because he's like remember he only has 2 weeks and so he's trying to speed up the process. He's trying to like give him the answers.
Yeah.
And but what was I gonna say? Something to do with let me think about it. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
But I think like while we see the butler doing this, we are getting cuts back and forth between like Chris Welch coming in early and speaking with Alistair, and yeah.
I was gonna say that basically he can't stop you from doing it because I'm trying to figure out if there was a way that he knows this or he expects this, that if he stops himself from creating it, then he stops himself from stopping him from creating it. And so it's like this weird paradox where he goes back in time and he can't stop him from creating it. He has to just change the outcome of which he established it. So it's like he has to create the time machine faster because like just generically something happens that messes everything up or something. And so he's trying to like, that's why he's trying to like, okay, I'm going to give you the answers so that you can solve it quicker. So so that we have more time to actually do this thing that I haven't established yet.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I would imagine that we're getting like just cuts back and forth between you in the lab, not realizing that Welch has arrived early. We see the time, like a clock somewhere, say like 7:33 or something, right? And you thought you were gonna have more time to.
I was thinking it was like that night. Like it's right after the boat goes home.
Oh, okay. You just drive back?
Yeah, he just drives back.
Okay, yeah.
Before 8 a.m. is when I was supposed to have the answer. So then, 7:30 is just before 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So Chris Welch just can't sleep.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll just start right now.
Perfect. Yeah. So we see that montage, right, of you like tossing and turning, and then you just like get in your car, and Christian Table has already arrived back there and is like starting to get things set up for you, changing out the plans. Yeah. And we just hear oh, Mr. Welch, so good to see you. I'm glad you decided to take me up on the offer. And then I guess really the real question is, does someone walk in on him doing this?
Oh, here's the thing is like, it might be just weird enough to be like, that's a little weird, but it isn't that weird because I already had the briefcase, right? So it's like, I have possession of it, or I had possession of it for Alistair. So it's not like it's the weirdest thing. It's just that why did you have it open? Like, I want to know. And if I don't say anything, it's kind of like, okay, maybe that's a little weird, but it's not so weird where you're like, oh my goodness, he's doing something to them right away, at least.
So I mean, we hear like the door. There's we hear them walking back to this area.
Is the facility like it's you described it like opening up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's closed. Maybe he's in there making scribbles and stuff and it's closed.
Yeah. Yeah, and so we see Alistair walk over back into his big study area, and then press the button again, and then he starts to open, and you're in like this dark, facility, and suddenly there's like a crack of light that just splits through, and you're like, uh-oh. So what would you do?
I think what he does is he closes the briefcase, and then he quickly just like acts like he's like dusting it off, and he's kind of like he starts organizing some stuff. It looks like he's being busy, like that's because like he's obviously right next to it. He got his hands on it, and so he's just kind of looking like, just kind of organizing stuff. And
yeah, and the door opens, and I'm imagining that like there's like a wall of glass behind the wall of stone and then there's like a door that you open up, a glass door, and then you walk in, and that's the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And so like the entire time you're going to be doing this, Connor, Alistair is going to be sitting in his chair in his study watching, right? That's like part of the reason why he put it here. But we hear Bainbridge say, Mr. Table.
Master Bainbridge, I just wanted to tidy up before Master Welch inevitably came to his workstation.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for any inconvenience.
Inevitably.
I see. I see. And have you found the briefcase to be properly dusted?
Just making sure everything is in order for our guests, sir.
And I'm like, I'm suspicious. I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. But I think I say, all right, Mr. Welch. Well, Mr. Table will be here in case you need anything. He's at your disposal for the remainder of your tenure with us. I will, I'm going to go ahead and get in the hot tub. Good luck. And we see that like the hot tub is literally in the same room. It's just in the corner of the of the like area out there.
And I think Chris is like, oh, I guess I didn't realize I'd start tonight. I think he like mumbles that to himself. Didn't think I'd lose there and not sleep tonight. I just really needed to.
If you weren't gonna start, then you could have made a phone call.
I will be nearby in case you need anything. And he kind of, briskly, walks away from the briefcase like, oh yeah, yes, like
Is that the only thing that you do? Is that was that the main thrust of your scene, or do we want to expand that and keep going into something else?
I guess it depends on what Connor does. Because I think, because what he's gonna secretly he's like making updates on the thing, and he's gonna like keep inputting.
Do we see a montage then? Is that what happens? It's a montage of Chris like starting to go to work on it, and then the butler is like looking over and while he's like, oh, did you happen to see this state of the art what's it call it over here? And as soon as Chris turns his head, you like Sharpie in something, right?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Also, are we gonna work in the workstation without any power?
At some point, yeah. I'm not sure when exactly, but up to you.
Chris asks for grape juice while he's working.
Of course, sir. Grape juice, right? Yes, grape juice.
And did you come back?
Well, I'm thinking I'm thinking of GMing this for a second here. I think you go and like we just don't have any grape juice for some reason. Like it's out.
That's because I've been drinking it because I like grape.
Yes, there you go.
No, yeah. Oh no.
I like to think that's the reason you did it in the first place too. Whereas like you just.
What if it's like grape juice? Like he kind of like functions well on grape juice. It's kind of like his drink of choice when he's working. And I think it's been clear that there's like something brewing with Christian Table, and he's been drinking all the grape juice, and so he doesn't have any more. Or he's taking it.
Yeah,
so he's just like I don't have any grape juice.
A different type of fruit juice. I like to think you just get him a different type of fruit juice every time, and it's always
yes,
right.
This is apple juice. It's because like here's what he's trying to do. He doesn't really need him to. He needs some like general stuff, but the stuff that he's already figured out, he's like he doesn't really need like full brain power because I'm kind of doing it for him. And so, but obviously he still doesn't have any grape juice. But anyway, so he gives him apple juice.
He like takes a sip absent-minded, like without looking at it, just expecting it to be grape juice, and like spits it out. He's like, "Oh, sorry, I just noticed these scribbles here on the blueprints. I got confused. It's delicious, thank you." And he like looks closer at it, and he's like, "Say, Christian, was there anybody else in here before you were cleaning up? It looks like some of these blueprints aren't what I remember them being."
Oh man, I'm trying to determine if he's like, oh yeah, I just thought I'd my sketches. I had a few suggestions, or if he's just like,
you could blame it on Bainbridge.
Could be Master Bainbridge. He is quite the master or genius himself. He's like, he kind of like bites his tongue. Like,
yeah.
Sure. So maybe he would know more about this then. And he like picks it up to like walk over to him.
No. I'm sure he trusts your judgment and perhaps was just coming up with suggestions of how you might go about finishing the plans.
Sure. Okay. And he like goes back to work, and he doesn't touch his apple juice like at all.
You're resolving, Adam. So this scene ends when you want it to.
I think.
Anything else you see?
I feel like he. I can just describe it, right? I think he just. Welch just kind of is getting a lot farther than he thought he would at this, because he's like, there's no way I can do it in 2 weeks, and he's like, oh, I'm actually getting pretty far on this. And so, I think he just starts like kind of building it. And he's like, oh, there's the answer. I don't know where it came from. Like maybe he's like thinking to himself, maybe it was like, I didn't look at the plans fully, and maybe it's a lot farther than I thought. And so I won't have to do it as much. That's why he was like, oh yeah, 2 weeks. But what's really happening is it was at one point, but a bunch of stuff was added to, speed up that progress. And he just didn't have the time, Table didn't have enough time to actually, I think he has it completed already. And so he didn't get enough time to just write it all down. So that's why he's periodically like adding more notes. He already has it. It's not like he's like figuring it out.
Cool.
And so he's just like, maybe I could do this in 2 weeks.
That's what
maybe he's thinking 3 weeks or something. Like it's not quite there yet. He's like, I still got to figure this out. Maybe another week or two.
So would you see a montage of all this happening?
Yeah, you see the machine, like it's like a what do you call it? It's like a sped up version where it's like him like planting, placing things around.
Right. This like slow zoom out shot. Yeah, where like all the
few scientists are coming in and out, and like and it's like slowly being built up.
Exactly. Nice. Cool. Well, how does this resolve for you then? Good or bad?
Me?
Yeah. This is your scene.
Good so far, but yeah, I would say good.
Yeah, good. All right, so you can take 2 white dice, and then you can give them to whoever you wish, but you can't keep them.
I can't keep either.
No. Thank you. All right, cool.
Can I give them to the same person?
I think so. This is kind of house rule because you don't usually have this many.
Yeah, you can give them to the same person. I did with Adam. I gave both mine to Adam.
Yes. All right.
Can I say neutral? Can I say neutral actually? Because I feel. I don't
know. That seemed good to me. Like,
okay.
Wrong yet.
I think he needs him to do it faster though. So it's like he hasn't exactly got what he wants because he hasn't really gotten towards the fact. Like he needs him to create it, and he needs to create it fast, but he hasn't really progressed into solving his long-term problem, because he always created it. He's just trying to speed up the process so that he can, solve the actual problem of what went wrong. And I don't think he's gotten there yet. He's just convinced him to create the machine and create it faster than he thought he could.
I think it's safe to say that Chris is suspicious, and that's why it's neutral.
Right. We see this constant back and forth between him making tweaks and you being like, something's not right here.
Yeah, something's wrong. Like I'm too. I think Chris is too smart to not notice something's not right here. Because if he's able to do this, if he's able to accomplish this, he has to. And you're doing all the work for him. Then he's, you know what I mean? He's like, at some point he has to figure out, I'm not doing this work. Right? He's like making a list of all the things he needs to figure out before he can solve it. And then it's just like, I didn't solve that yet.
Oh man, I wish I was establishing now, because I got a good next scene, but we'll see what you guys choose.
So as a reminder, Adam, the mixed dice is going to make it really bad. So if you had a neutral, you had a black die, you could give them to Connor instead and give me the white die. Up to you. But like,
I thought you said mixed. I gave him a white though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying mixed is bad for people, so you can do it if you want to screw Connor over by the end of the game.
Oh, because I guess he kind of is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's a good point. Because he's me, so I kind of want to.
Exactly. That's what I figured. Yeah.
I feel like if I get a neutral ending, okay, I'm not going to say anything. I'll review. I have an idea, and I think you guys all know what it's going to be if I sort of succeed. But
okay, cool. So let's add the tilt here. So let's see, Fiasco core book.
Do we help decide the tilt, or is it just undecided?
Yeah, it depends. Everybody rolls the dice in front of them right now. So yeah. Go ahead and right click on your dice, click multi-sided and random side, or you can do that. Well, that doesn't. Don't do that, because we need to know what colors.
That's right. That's right. How do I do it?
So you can right click on them and click multi-sided and then random side.
Click on the dice. Oh, here we go. So just the dice that I have.
Yep.
Do I do that for each one, or?
Yeah, you should be able to like go over all of them at once.
Ooh. Let me try that.
Yeah, there you go. So your final result was a black 4. Mine is white 1. And then Connor, and roll yours.
Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were rolling them yet. How do I?
Is it the highest value?
Here, I'll do it for you. Yeah. So then Connor got black 7. So because you were mixed there, Adam, and so
so it cancels out. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So I had the highest white. Connor had the highest black. So we get to choose these options. So Connor, you can choose the category. Do you want? And then it's based on the dice that we have rolled out here. So we have 1s, 4s, 5, and 2 based on the dice that we all just rolled. So you can choose. And again, as a reminder, this is the tilt. This is like something extra you get to add in at the midpoint of the game, right?
Is a tilt on here?
No, it's in the core book.
Oh,
it's the same every time. They're all vague. Connor, would you like to choose mayhem, tragedy, guilt, or paranoia?
Ooh.
Your choice, Connor.
Guilt, tragedy,
mayhem, or paranoia.
Mayhem. Okay.
Where is this list? Is it in the?
You don't have access to it right now. I'm just reading it off for you. It's in the core book. So your options are mayhem, tragedy, guilt, or paranoia.
Mayhem, tragedy, guilt. I think paranoia, right?
Yeah, I was thinking either mayhem or paranoia.
Yeah. Okay. So paranoia, that 5 has been chosen. So I get to choose 1, 2, or 4 from that list. So I can choose a stranger arrives to settle a score. What seems like dumb luck isn't. Things are afoot. Or a sudden reversal of status, of fortune, of sympathy.
That actually makes sense. It's not dumb luck.
Yeah, that's the one that makes the most sense to me. Let's just choose that one so we don't add any more additional complication to it. Like that's exactly what's happening. So I think something in particular should happen here that seems like dumb luck but isn't. And like gets the machine running probably, right? But it's actually Adam finalizing the machine or something.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I want the my scene to be. I'm going to establish. I want the time machine to like turn on. They run a test, and it actually works. Like it seems to work. And Connor's character is like, this makes no sense. Like this took way less time than I thought it would. Something is wrong here.
Do we need? Because don't we need to bring in? I mean, there's a few things we got to bring in. Like.
So I have an idea for the server passwords. I have an idea for that one. Let's just say when you turn it on, like the power, there's a power outage, right?
That was establishment, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So and then I would be coming in to like check on your progress, right? Like let's say the power goes out in the whole area except for the time machine, right? The time machine, once you get it up and running, has its like own internal power source. And so I notice that everything is just turned off, and I come to check out like, oh, things going well, right? Like, and then from there Connor will be like this is like I didn't do this, right? That sound good to you, Connor?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a light?
Yeah, it's. I'll fix it in a second.
Here's another thing. I think what happens is every time he invents the machine, he has to recreate the machine because he's like sent back in time, and he can't. It's like time machine doesn't teleport with them; it just teleports him. So he has to recreate the machine every time, and so he's like figured out ways. Okay, he's just like memorizing it and like, okay, I gotta recreate it, and then I gotta solve it faster and faster and faster. And I think, and so he's trying to like loop it faster, and that's why he needs him to create it, because he needs to use it or something, or needs it available or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so it would just be me walking in and praising you for doing it so quickly. And we can say there's maybe like a few days left on the timeline that I gave you. But I'll wait for Connor so he can react to what's happening. So what's your ultimate goal?
Okay.
Like why are you trying to go back in time? Like, is it just that you need to make it super fast and then what? Like, get it out of here? Like, what do you actually need to use this time machine for?
I guess it depends on what your motives are, because
I'm still confused as to how your suggestion that you messaged me even makes any sense at all.
No. What?
I still don't know how it makes sense. Mainly because the question is, how does I think
it's like Back to the Future. I think what happened was the same thing happened. There was no butler, or I actually like basically incapacitated the butler and became the butler. There already was a butler. He's so like oblivious to that he didn't notice that. So what happened was he comes to him and says, "Hey, I want a time machine," and I'm like, "That's impossible. You can't do that." And he's like, "Well, I've heard you're really smart." And he's like, or no. How about he is really smart, and he came up with this like solution, but he hadn't solved it. And he basically, hold on. I got to think about how it worked.
Well, we can keep going now that Connor's here. Just be thinking.
Yeah, okay. I have an idea of what I'm going to do in the scene.
Yeah, so I walk in, all the power in the facility has just gone off. I walk in, I see this like perfect ring of like white light coming from the time machine, and it's working. And then I walk in, I'm like clapping, Well done, Mr. Welch. I knew you had it in you.
I know how it happened, Caleb. Did you want me to tell you or no? Wait.
No, we'll keep it secret. Keep it a secret.
So I think the big thing with Chris is that he's paranoid. I think when it turns on, he's confused.
Yeah.
He's like, how did that just turn on? So you're like, well done, and he's like,
I did
why
not
is
do.
it working? It's like JavaScript. It's like, it's not working yet. Why is it not working? And then he's like, it's working. Why is it working? And he's just like, So he's paranoid, right? But go ahead and so he's like, well done, and he's just like looking at the blueprints and like looking back at the time travel machine, like, why is it powered on?
Yeah, so you're just standing there confused. Does the butler do anything? I assume you're in the room.
Yeah. Perhaps you would like another grape juice. No. He's like, it appears that there is not enough power to power the machine.
Does it turn off? Or is it just not like there's not enough power?
I think I say, what are you talking about? It's working right now. Don't you see it?
Wait. Sorry. Was it powered down or is it on right now?
I described it as powered on. Like it once it's turned on, it has its own internal power source. It doesn't need to run off of anything. So it sucked in all the power and nothing else is working.
Okay. No, I guess he doesn't say anything.
Yeah. So you're confused.
So this is the workstation with no power.
I was just trying to say the workstation with any power, like all the terminals in here in this room are now without any power. You can't really do anything except for like the time machine itself is the only thing that has power right now.
Okay, this is what he says. He says, I will get you to another drink, and then he like runs off, like rather quickly, but like weirdly. Yeah. He's kind of like trying to not look like really frantic, but he kind of like speeds off.
That Mr. Table, always diligent to give people their drinks.
I think he turns to Bainbridge and he says, Master Bainbridge, I need to tell you something.
Yes. You're telling me that you'll work out the kinks and have it ready in time for our deadline, yeah?
He like looks after where Table was running, and then he turns back to Bainbridge and he says, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
Perfect. And once this thing is up and running, well, and he gives you a hand, puts a hand on your shoulder. He says, I'll give you a sizable bonus and send you on your way. Thank you so much for your work.
Wait.
I think at this point, I think the power shuts down.
Sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Master Bainbridge, you're not gonna... I can't use this to save lives? This technology...
It'll be used to save lives, but in the meantime, you'll be on your own private island sipping mimosas.
That's not what I signed up for, sir. I want to save lives. I want to...
Well, then you can use whatever petty... you can use the outrageous funds that I've given you to do whatever you would like. You can cure all the diseases you wish.
No, don't you see? I don't need the disease cures anymore. This is... And then it's as if he just noticed that the power is off, and he's just like...
And so, Adam, you described that the time machine went off? That's what you're describing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he went and turned off the power.
Well, the power, there isn't any... Oh, I see what you're saying. It's sucking in all the power. Nothing else works except for... Yeah.
So maybe the time machine dies off, and then the lights flick back on.
Right, because like Adam like restarts the power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like looking around. Okay. Weird. You'll be able to replicate that. You'll be able to replicate that, yes?
I think he like something clicks in his head. And he's like, I understand now. and runs over to the machine and like powers it on again, and then jumps inside the time machine.
Excuse me, Mr. Welch. And then I like rush over.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to get in too.
Yep. Who resolves this one?
You guys. I established.
We resolve it. Okay. All right, Adam, what happens? Who gets in?
I'm trying to get in too because I don't want him to like. Or no, you know what? I'm trying to turn it off. I run over and try to unplug it. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
I think
I grab like a big thing of I grab a big thing of cable cutters and just go to try to cut the power cable.
Well, you just die.
I mean,
There's rubber handles.
I think Alistair successfully does that. I think he stops basically both of you from, at least power wise. Like the machine is built, but he just has to figure out like a new power. Like he could replace you to figure that out. He believes.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that he gets in before the time goes, before the power goes out.
So this is the question: is this part of Table's plan or not part of Table's plan?
No, because he hasn't even told him what the plan is, and so he's like developing his own plan. And he's like, no, look, you're going to mess up my already established plan. You're just going to restart it.
I think this is the paranoia is why I'm doing this. He's paranoid about what's going on, and so he's like, first of all, he's like, Bainbridge is trying to take away my invention, and he's like, Table is trying to prevent me from using it, and so he's like, everybody's against me. I want to go save the world, and so he's trying to jump in the time machine.
So where do you have it set for? What like where was the time machine?
I thought I powered down like all of the power, like any power to the machine. Like basically,
well, no. The only thing you could have done is you could have like turned off the power to the whole estate, and then we assumed that you turned it back. It kind of reset things, turn it back on, so that it would.
Well, I was trying to like turn it off and have Alistair go like check on it, like, I wonder where the power's up. Like, I'll have somebody look into it. And because I'm supposedly in the kitchen, like getting drinks, right? So,
okay, I feel like
he basically wanted to speak to Chris Walsh alone.
Well, you could always say, Bainbridge could always just say, well, he has an emergency generator.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
I think he comes in and he's like, Chris, no. He's like, no, don't do it. He says it without like an accent or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, you jump in. That's fine with me.
Well, it's Adam and I deciding the resolution together.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's way more interesting if we ruin Adam's master plan here and have you jump in.
Okay. When does he go back to though?
That is the question, right?
Maybe he goes back to like. Maybe he goes. Right. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's say he does it. Let's say he does it in the power cuts.
So this is bad for me. Right. This is bad for me because you just jumped in.
Yeah.
So and now that we've changed to the second act of the game, now we give.
Why did you get rid of your white die?
I didn't mean to.
He's like traded them.
We keep them now.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So we don't give them out to people. We keep them.
Okay. So. Just as another reason as to why I'm doing this, Caleb and I have a secret betrayal relationship. So this is what that is. I couldn't figure out where that was going. Yeah. And then
I mean there's kind of separate secret betrayals between the two of us, but this makes sense.
Most of it is through Table, I feel like. So that's why I was trying to be like, doesn't make sense for my character to not also have some sort of secret betrayal with you.
Yep. Makes sense.
And maybe that's what Table was trying to prevent is this.
Yeah, maybe this happens every time.
But, yeah, maybe it's inevitable.
You keep making him too paranoid. Like you're trying to perfect the maybe like there was some bigger problem that happened the first time, but every time you've gone back to try to change it, you make yourself in the past too paranoid, and he jumps in the time machine and goes somewhere else.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, because I think it's some sort of paradox that creates, and he has to go a certain way for him to like break the cycle, but he can't just like kill himself or stop him from creating he has to create it and then do a specific thing with it so that all the prevention happens, but in a certain way.
So actually, I think I'm going to choose to resolve I think I want to let you guys decide when I go in time.
I feel like this has been such a tight closed loop of a game. I feel like it has to be back to the beginning of the session, right? Like
Sure.
where you're being called in for the first time to Bainbridge's estate, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe like I guess here's the question: is it a space machine too, or does he end up right here? That would be kind of funny if he ends up right here, and that's like Adam's been going back in time to here, to this place, and then knocking out the butler and taking his place every time.
Well, I already described myself as being 25 years older, and it could be like
I think you've been doing this for 25 years. You've been going back in time for 25 years trying to fix this stupid thing. And these are questions we don't necessarily have to answer right now. But the first question is,
I was also thinking like, what if? Okay. what if this is happening? I was thinking this the whole time, and so it makes sense that I think what happens is the scene. I'm picturing like a hallway. Okay, back when he's at his apartment, I'm picturing like there's like a living room, and then there's a hallway, and like the door is one way, and then there's like rooms the other way. And I pictured like as when Welch walks into the room, he's kind of like blocked by the wall that on the other side of the wall is a hallway, but there's like a walkway to go into the hall, and then either left or right one to the door. And I'm picturing that while he like walks past him, he notices another version of himself, and he doesn't say anything because he knows how it works. And he's like, he's like, I need to talk to myself. Why is he here? And so like, but you don't know that until now, or like now that he goes back. And so he's like, there's like several of them like in the same, like, so it's like they keep going back in time, and actually it's not like, oh, there's only one of you. It's you keep duplicating yourself.
Yeah.
Bainbridge's entire staff is just this one dude.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of Christians.
They keep knocking out his
like all
staff. It's just guys like, one of them is cross-dressing as a maid, and the other it's just the same actor over and over again.
And I'm just like, I want to, okay, we go back, and maybe this is when they have the conversation. And so they're like, oh man, there's another one of you. You're like, welcome to the club. We're trying to figure this out.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
All right. I mean, go for it.
Like into a room. Chris Welch like walks into a room, and it's a bunch of Christian tables being like, come on in. You look kind of young.
You too.
To us. Yeah.
Yeah. First time.
Yeah.
So I mean, please, like, I don't need to be in this scene. You just tell me how that goes.
Caleb can play a different one of the.
Okay, so we go back to let's skip to the part where you go back in time. I don't know. You go back to the same room, and it's when you're in the thing, but you realize what you just did, and you probably like want to go to your house or something, and that's when. The night that I follow you, that's when we first meet each other, and then we talk basically outside your house after I leave, because I see you in your own house, the other you, and I don't say anything to the other you the first time because I don't want to be like create a strange paradox. So I just like I like see you like, oh yeah, time flies when you're having fun. And then I walk out, and then maybe like you sneak out too. And this is when we have the conversation, because you and I, it doesn't matter if you and I interact, but we can't interact with the first you that convinced you to do it.
Sure. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking. So the scene kind of starts maybe like as I'm walking out.
So do we get all of that though? Like do we get where? So like I first come out of the time machine. We decided it wasn't a space time machine though, too, right? Just a
So you just transport to there, but there's nothing around you.
Okay, we don't get the scene where I walk in and there's a room full of you guys trying to decide what to do, and then I go to my house. Oh, okay. So
you're in an empty facility.
Yeah. Okay. And so Chris Welch decides to go to his house because he's like. Well, why would he decide to go to his house?
Yeah, I was going to say, like,
where else
I don't even know if you can make it to your house before someone notices you and it's like, why are you here? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on what Chris Welch is trying to do.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if he knows yet. I think he's
Oh,
the tech location
like
workstation without any power is relevant to him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he goes to his lab. Maybe he goes to his personal lab.
The question still remains: how do you get out of the estate without someone noticing you?
Oh,
what if every time? Oh no, here. How about they meet before that? And the reason he keeps getting it wrong is because he's like actually helping the other Chris Welch, and he's like, "Oh, I got to bring him a drink," and he just like grabs a drink, and he's like, here, this will work." And so when he like goes into the kitchen, he like finds him or something, and he's like, "I need to get you out of here. You can't be here."
I'm confused. I don't.
Yeah,
know
I didn't follow.
Well, every time that Chris or Christian Table goes into the kitchen, like the first time he goes in there, he finds Chris Welch, the modern one, because he like snuck around and he's like in the mansion, but he gets to the kitchen and he's like, what are you doing here?
Oh, I see. You're
so
saying.
he's
right now.
I'm trying to get out of this, out of the mansion, and I have to go through the kitchen, and the Christian Table from the past finds me. One of the times he went to the kitchen.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Okay. Yeah. This is gonna get complicated real fast.
You see that like you see like the grape juice. Maybe you're in the kitchen. You're like trying to find your way out, and you're like, "Ooh, some grape juice sounds nice." And you press the button, and there's no grape juice that like, or whatever fancy high tech thing you would have to like dispense grape juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you do that, you Christian Table walks in.
And just a side note, another reason why there's no grape juice is because there's 100 of them.
I know, exactly. And they're all drinking the grape juice. Yeah.
Yep.
Why are we spending so much money?
Okay, we don't know that yet. You don't know that there's like a bunch of us like.
Right. Yeah.
Did you use the machine?
How do you know about the machines?
It happens every time. If you would have figured it out by now.
Figured what out by now? Who are
Figured out that I'm you, and he takes off the glasses and the hat. He's like, I've been doing this over and over, and I keep can't stop going through the loop.
You are, and he walks up to you and is like, and he checks for like
but you're old
or something. Yeah.
You think you're the only person who's gone back in time?
Well, yeah, I just invented time travel.
I invented it 25 years ago.
And he pauses. He's like, no, you're right. You invented time travel for me just now. You were the one with the notes the whole time. You invented time travel, which means I invented time travel. But now you stole time travel. You stole my invention from me.
Alistair stole it from us. I had developed some plans to start it, and I had come to him for money. But he decided to take it upon himself, but they were unfinished. So when I redesigned the machine, I completed it, and he found out about it. But he didn't have time to steal the plans that I had finished, and he took the half-finished plans back in time before I could stop him. I followed him here. It took me 25 years to do it. And so what happened was he created partially these plans, and he's like, okay, to actually build this thing, I need to go to somebody. So he goes to Alistair, and I was like, this is a good idea. And so but what happened was he stole the plans, and it was like, I'm going to do this myself because like I could probably find someone that would finish it, because he couldn't like have me finish it. And then, but what happened is he stole it. And then I was like, oh, wow, like that's not fair. So he actually finished the machine himself. So he like redid the plans. So Alistair now has the unfinished plans. And this is still like older Alistair. And he goes back to his younger self, gives him the plans.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And then is like, so what happened is he had the plans for them. And then I finished the machine myself, redid the plans, but he didn't steal those plans because he didn't have time. So he found me out, went through the time machine that I had finished with the half finished plans and gave them to himself.
Okay, so that's awesome. I just had a thought to try and wrap up all the time travel nonsense, though. What if part of the machine is it opens up time, and when we're done messing with time, we can press the resolution button and close time back up, and it like seals the deal. So because like right now we have like 100 Welches, right?
Yes,
But it's like
Tables.
whatever the current direction is, that's what it will.
As soon as we hit the resolution button, all of the extra people disappear, and the timeline like aligns to what we've changed. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you say that as much?
I described this like really quickly. It's probably like in 5 minutes because that's about how long I was gone.
And by the time you get finished, so you're going to say...
No. Okay, here's what happens. He explains like half of it. He's like, oh, no. And he grabs it and he goes out and gives him a drink and then like waits a few minutes and then he comes back and finishes the story because he gets a drink.
Yeah. He's like,
he gets the whiskey for Alistair. And so he's like, oh, I forgot about the drink. And then he comes back and it gives him the whiskey and then continues the story and then goes out and gives him the whiskey.
Yep.
Or the brandy.
I think it's scotch.
Yeah, scotch. So like he says half of it, goes out, gives him the drink. He asks for a scotch. He goes back in, explains the rest of it. He's like, oh, 1 second.
Yeah, okay, now technically Connor's resolving, so I gotta make sure that he.
We can keep going. Like if Chris wants to say anything about like the plan.
Yeah. I have an idea of how to interrupt things, but I want to make sure I know where Connor wants to take it first before I do so.
Here's the thing. How about they still need the resources to actually create the time machine, which is why they're actually allowing him to do it. But what was going to happen was the future Alistair was going, each one that keeps trying to use it and then fixes everything. But the one who doesn't know keeps doing that and keeps resetting it.
Yes, I think that's what happens. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they more like have to go follow him or something. Maybe they can't like do it while there's one that doesn't, I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
It's getting more and more complicated the longer we talk about it. Yeah, I do think it makes sense though that like I took the half-finished plans and went back in time so that I could finish it in the past and beat you to it. Makes sense. And what I probably did is I probably like, and we're probably seeing that some of this is flashbacks now. I probably tried to sabotage the time machine as I went back in time and maybe thought I did at first, but then you were able to follow me. Like, I don't think I would have jumped in there without having some way or, trying to at least sabotage it so that you couldn't follow me. But I just couldn't do it. I failed to do it.
I think I heard most of that, but the question is Chris going to say anything else? Right?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Does he have any ideas or plans or something like that?
You're resolving, right? So I just want to make sure that you were going in the direction you want to go or if I can interject something here.
I think he says, Christian, what is our goal here? What are we trying to fix? What did we come back in time to fix? What are we going to use the time machine for? And what is Alistair going to use it for? And then I think Alistair interrupts.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping. So we just see me step in and you know what I did? This is what you see. You see the you in this current present timeline, and I have a gun pointed at his head. And I say, you see, I've wondered that myself a few times. What does one do? And this is like Alistair in the room, in the kitchen now with a gun to
Wait, so is this the Alistair that saw you teleport back?
You don't know.
Okay.
But I think like I would like to establish right here that how the time travel works is if I kill the current timeline present you're dead. Like,
oh yeah, we're all dead.
Yeah, exactly. You're all dead. So
that would be me, right?
No, it would be this guy I have right now who I was just meeting with in the back, right?
Right.
Yep,
okay,
yep.
Yeah.
So I have the gun, and I'm like, I wanted that myself a time or two. But then I thought about the other part of it. I thought about it the other way around. What can't I do with time travel? Right? And like,
Nice.
and the thing is, I know that the both of you have figured it out. And so we're going to do this one way now. You're going to make me a time machine, or I kill you, all of you, right now.
Oh no.
Okay, all right. So there currently isn't a time machine.
Yeah,
In this
because we're in the
timeline,
past.
right?
Yep.
So now all of us have to work together. I think that should be the next. I think we cut here, and
Well, we have one scene left, and that's the end.
Oh, so
Wait, okay, so if this is a bad ending for us, if there's no more black dice,
It has to be a good ending.
yeah. So how does it end good for us then? There's only good dice left.
Yeah, how does that work?
I mean, you could have like a short whispered conversation where you're like, so that I think maybe we can't end it here then, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think we have to keep going, right?
How about we do this? How about Christian Table? You just said like oh man or something like that, right? I think Chris Welch has like a protagonist moment, right? Where he's like, wait, and he turns and looks at Christian Table and he says, wait, I have a plan. Or maybe you have a plan. And if he like whispers that to you, and maybe Alistair's like, hey, what are you saying?
Yeah, like I just like press the gun further
Yeah.
into the current Chris Welch's head, and he's just like, I don't
think
understand what's going on.
No, actually, how about Christian Table? How about Christian and Christian both had the same idea at the same time? How about they both whisper to each other, I have a plan?
Yeah, it's some like
the same
unexplained like connection because they're all the same person, and it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't really make sense in time, but it's like, wait, what? It's like,
Yeah.
they look at each other.
I have a plan. And you have a plan? We have a plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I pressed the gun further into his head. I'm like, shut up.
And then Christian looks at him. He's trying to like pretend like they didn't just come up with a plan. And he's like, if he kills him, he kills us all. You know, like trying to like that. Like that was the thought.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
And
You have to do what he says.
Chris says, yeah. Okay, Alistair. Let's build you a time machine.
We're gonna have a montage.
Okay,
and how many of them are you?
Like 100, right?
Wait, hold on. I think he says one more thing. He's like, you realize, Alistair, that if you kill us, you'll have a paradox.
He's like, I don't think I will.
Because if he kills you, then like everybody in this situation technically is dead. All of us are. Not even just us.
Wait a
like,
second. Yeah.
not even just Chris. Because Alistair wouldn't be him because he wouldn't have had the plans in the first place.
Yeah. If he no, not a paradox. If he kills him right now, he doesn't get a time machine.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
It like, well, not even that, but like he ceases to exist because he wouldn't be in the position because he wouldn't have stolen the plans from me.
I don't think so, because we just established that we have the solidified timeline
time
button.
is still open.
Yeah.
So, but if no one can press it,
yeah, right.
Then
and that's why I'm saying if he kills us, we all are in a paradox, every one of us, and so it's like destruction. But he's like, that's why I'm thinking like maybe Alistair's willing to do it.
Based
like,
on
I'm willing to destroy
based
everything.
on what we described so far, I don't think it's possible to create a timeline that will just destroy everything or make someone cease to exist. I think the fact that he has gone back in time, he's currently in the real timeline, so he will not cease to exist. You guys will cease to exist because you don't exist in this timeline. But this Alistair does exist in this timeline, so he's still there.
So he
it's just that he's experienced the other timelines.
My question is, the timeline would still be open.
You said that's why I was asking if he was
resolved.
Yeah. So in a perfect world, what he wants to do is force you guys to create the time machine
and then kill us all.
Kill us and then press the button to close the time loop, right?
But if he kills you, if he kills the current Chris,
no. But I understand what he said. The way we're establishing it is like each time we go back, it's more like multiple timelines. And so that's why I wasn't sure if this is Alistair's timeline, actual his, then he does exist. But
He
if he was like a different one, then he would cease to exist.
No,
because basically they all collapse into the current timeline.
They all collapse into the current.
But
I don't think any other timelines
into the current timeline if the resolution button is hit, right? So what happens if the resolution button isn't hit? Is this just like a tentative? Maybe this is time. Maybe this isn't forever.
I think that
saying?
I think that killing Chris
Is that just like a hard reset button?
I think it hard resets it anyway, right?
Okay, sure, yeah.
But I just think it's impossible in the structure we've set up. I think it's impossible to create a paradox or to create a like destroy a timeline. What happens?
Just destroy it because it kills us in this timeline and destroys every other timeline. But so this one, Alistair will exist, but we will be dead in every other timeline. Because right now, all of our timelines are basically messed up, and we exist in this timeline.
Yes,
but only as long
as shadows of him. I would even say that there aren't even other timelines, right? Like once you go back in time, that timeline ceases to exist, and this is the only timeline. And so it's just that you're kind of like shadow copies of this one guy who does actually exist. And if he dies, you're all just his shadow, so you go away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Okay. All right. So yeah, I think we both say like, oh, like we have a plan. But I think we cut from there, right?
So it's a good ending because you're like, we can do this.
We have a plan. We figured it out.
That's fine with me. Unfortunately, that means that you get 2 white dice, Connor, and now you're totally mixed.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. But these last 2 are wild dice.
Okay. But those go to table.
Yep. Yeah, they're gonna go to table.
Which means
but they can be whatever.
It'd probably be black.
Yeah, everything's going to be a little mixed here, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. Okay, so Adam, establish or resolve.
Oh man, this is tough because this is the last one.
Yep.
Do we even have what the plan is? I feel like
I have an idea for a plan.
Okay, I'll do resolve.
Okay. Caleb, so we set the scene then. I think the plan that Tristan and Christian have come up with is that they're going to like make a time machine, but make it not the right way. Like mess it up so that when Alistair tries to use it, he'll reset the timeline.
So you want to create a button that will close the loop right now. And what will that accomplish exactly?
Mm.
Or I guess what the button really does is it collapses all instances of a person onto themselves.
Well, what if it's like an Iron Man thing where we're actually, maybe we haven't created the button and we come up with the design for the button. So we're making it look like we're creating the time machine and we're kind of like working on it, but we're also working on this other device. And we're like, oh yeah, this is just a power stabilization.
I'm just not sure how that helps. Like how that solves anything for you guys. Because
I think maybe we're gonna do the same thing. Maybe we're just gonna we're gonna teleport him into oblivion or something, and not like to the past. Maybe to like it just like something that isn't good. Unsolvable.
Oh, okay. I have an idea. of what the plan is. So we have a plan. The time machine is not what it seems. And Christian Table keeps. I mean, they're the same person. So they both have the same idea because they're the same person, and they're working on it together.
Are you going to tell us what the plan is?
No, I think we should leave it as.
Okay.
So I know, but I don't know.
Exactly.
Christian Table knows, but I don't know.
Exactly.
That's funny. Yeah. Like, yes, I knew all along. Sure.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just in the corner with a gun to the real Chris's head.
So you're probably just like sitting in a chair, like holding the gun like this, like, all right, I'm making sure because like you do anything funny, boom, you're dead. Mm-hmm. Oh, what if we all like mix them all up? So it's like, which one's gonna die? No, that's not the real one.
He doesn't he straps that guy to a chair and has a gun next to him, right? Like he knows, and he gives him a little red armband, so he knows which one is the real one.
Oh, what if?
Now, I think what happened is he has
He
a big
shoots
welt
his
on the
arm.
side of his face. He has a big welt on the side of his face
yeah.
from the first time you hit him with the gun.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, what if Alistair? I mean, I'm not saying this is something he's going, or I mean, what if he does? I'm telling more like Connor. What if he, like, when they go in the teleporter, he takes the guy with him, and so he's like, he's like holding the gun. He's like, he's coming with me, and we're like, oh no. Well, I don't know what kind of his plan is for the teleporter, but like Alistair,
that might be a great
oh no, okay, let's go. Let's play it out. So we gotta play it out. Okay,
yeah.
So we're building the machine.
Yep.
And they're like showing the design to the other guys, like
Okay, we need to explain where these other guys been. Like, what is, because we haven't actually met any of these other guys yet.
They're kind of like under the, I'll say, authority of the oldest one, which is me, and so I'm like. I'm like, they just know, hey, we trust you because you've done this so many times that like,
right, but where were they hiding? That's my question.
Well, they're just in the, they're just in
everywhere.
Did they really replace his staff?
Yeah, I think
because
that's awesome.
I don't think that's possible.
No, okay, how about he doesn't realize this at first, and then as they're finally building it, he's kind of like this happens every time. You're like, wait, these are all.
Yeah, Caleb, you described Alistair as forgetting his servants all the time.
That's true.
So all they have to do is wild
it was kind of a joke suggestion, but I guess.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we're gonna call Christian Table, basically Chris Welsh, which is you, like your character,
Chris Prime.
Chris Prime, yeah. I was Chris Prime.
Well, no, Chris Prime is the guy who's in the chair. Yours, Chris Ultimate. Yeah, Chris Ultimate. Yeah.
I can't think of anything more ultimate than a table. So
and
it's the same thing.
Like the last, your
Christian Table is just the differentiation of which Chris.
I think Chris Welch, like the Connor's character, is Chris Alpha.
Okay,
that means.
And the only thing we're just calling mine Christian Table because that's distinguishing that I'm like the original or the oldest, at least at the very least,
oldest time traveler. Yeah.
Yeah, I came up with the first version of it, and then was able, as I tried it several times, I was able to like create it faster and faster, and just have the plans each time. And I'd done it so many times that I memorized it, and so, which is the whole thing that started because I came to Alistair and was like, hey, I got this idea, I'm not finished, but I think it could be really big. And then he steals it, and I'm like, well, I guess I got to try it over, and so I recreate it over like 20 years, and then he's like, oh, I can't, the last 20 years. Alistair's trying to figure it out, and he's like, this isn't working. I got to go back to him. And then he finds that I've finished it, boom, sneaks in the machine and goes back. And he's like, no. And he follows him there. And so he's like, he gives it to himself, kind of like Back to the Future 2. Anyways, okay, let's play it. So we're creating it. I think Chris Welch starts to realize like, oh, these are all me. Because he had just hadn't noticed before. And now he's like, oh.
Yeah, like all the help that's normally in the facility. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, no wonder they were so good at like replacing my notes and stuff. But I think Chris Welch, my character, Alpha, right, starts making new notes in the blueprints, and he starts writing things down about curing diseases.
Send people back in time before they had the disease, and like eradication, different things like that. He's like. They're trying to give like little subtle notes. I'm curious how you would actually use time travel to solve diseases, but I guess it's just like you could solve plagues, you could solve outbreaks. You could be like, we have the cure for this disease, and then we can go back in time and give it to the first person who ever gets it, and then we're good, right? But I don't know how you solve cancer exactly.
I mean, with time travel, anything's possible.
Yeah, maybe the act of time travel cures you of cancer. Maybe the cancer can't come with you.
No, that's not quite what I'm going for. But
so I would like to say that like we get this montage obviously, but we get as Alistair is like looking around, we start getting we get a zoom out shot, and we keep seeing more and more Chris's in different outfits. Like one's a gardener Chris, one's maid Chris, right? A chauffeur Chris. And it's just all of them. Yeah. But it's like the one like the way we did this in the movie version of it, right? Is that we had the rail and the zoom out, and we did it the same way every time, and just had you in a different outfit in a different part of the room doing something, and then we smash them all together in one shot.
Yeah.
What if the reason why, because I'm thinking there's so many of them, wouldn't they like just gang up on him? I think the reason was he's done this before. Or, he's like pointed the gun at the Prime and he's like, you can't do anything. And so they all kind of like create the machine and then, basically one person, because the problem is the timeline that they're all in, once the Prime is gone, then they don't have to worry about like all dying. And so they all like will attack Alistair and then follow him into the next timeline, and it just keeps going.
Well, so this is the thing. I think this is the first time that he's actually threatened violence. I think this is the first time Alistair's figured out this.
Okay.
Sure.
Every other time
here, Chris has just been like, "Oh, this isn't working. Let me." Start
exactly.
Again.
You just been like, "This didn't work. I'm going to go back in time again." Right?
Yeah.
Like, and you just keep doing that and other. Anyway.
Okay. All right. So slowly over time, like we build up the time machine. But it's not a time travel machine.
Okay.
It's an eradication machine that cures the disease known as Alistair Bainbridge.
Okay. All right.
And
so how are you planning on trying to get him in it?
I think that's Alistair's goal, right? Is build me the time machine.
Yeah, but I think that's what I'm saying is like if Alistair suspects something, he's like, just in case, I'm going to take Prime with me. Mm-hmm. That's why I feel like
that's definitely like, what he's going to do.
Well, it's like this better work or you're all dead. So that's why like I would think Alistair would be smart enough to think that.
Yeah.
Even if he's because once he goes to the next timeline, he'll shoot him anyways because he won't be Prime anymore. Yeah. Basically, there'll be another guy, and then he'll just start over again.
Yeah, and that's easy enough to shoot that guy.
And so it makes perfect sense. And one of the things that we get, one of the like subtle clues that we get is there's blood on Chris Welch Alpha's lab coat.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't get it.
No, I get it.
I don't get it.
So, I get it. So what does he do? Is that what he does then? We're like, Chris Welch is like, we're finished.
Yeah.
Good. So I'll just take these plans. Thank you. And now that we have this sorted out once and for all,
that means you can let me go, or let him go. Let me go.
Actually, I have to think about this. Why would he go back in time, but then he wouldn't have a time machine anymore? He's just going to shoot the guy.
That's what I'm saying.
That's literally what he does. He just says, okay, this is what happens. You say, okay, we've made the time machine for you. He's like, thank you. And now that I don't need you anymore, and he just like points the gun at him.
Yeah.
Because if he goes back in time with him, he's not the Prime, and he won't have a time machine. So there's no reason for him to go back in time.
Yeah, I didn't think that through. I forgot about that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because he wouldn't go in the time machine.
He needs the time machine.
Why would he?
Yeah, he wouldn't go in the time machine with all of you here. He would just kill you and then go in the time machine.
Yeah, and then go in the time machine.
But okay, so I think this is what I need to do. I think we need to cut the scene there.
The whole room is the time machine, but it's not a time machine. Remember a workstation without any power? So we turn on the machine because you're like, oh, you think I'm stupid? Prove that it works first, right?
Okay, yeah,
and
perfect.
Every time we've turned it on, the power goes out in the building.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right? So
yeah.
I think the power goes out in the building, and all of the Chris's grab Chris Prime and switch outfits with him. Right? Everybody switches outfits, and then by the time the power goes back on,
I don't think he could do that quick enough, and without him just firing.
Again, he would just he has that gun devoted funny to his head. Like that's funny, but I feel like the story has been serious enough that that's not a pause. On the table.
Okay, sure. Well, okay, but every time that happens,
what if he shoots him and nothing happens, and we're like, what? We're so confused.
I thought the idea was that you had made the whole room into the time machine, and so the power goes out. No, that doesn't make any sense.
You're saying he shoots him, and then we're like, wait, why aren't we all dead?
Oh, it's because you already went back in time.
Yes.
I see. Yeah, that's clever.
That's where I thought you were going, Connor. I was like,
Yeah,
what if like we already teleported and he shoots him and he's like,
yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
you know what? I think that the thing that we see that tips us off to this, that you could pay attention to if you're an astute listener, is that you say this the power has gone on every time, and so this time you say, you know, to make sure that doesn't happen, you know, this is a glitch that I always wanted to fix that part of it. Like, we need to put some special plating on the side of this facility, right? Let's enclose it with some special metal plating that will make sure that the power.
That was the modifications.
Yeah, exactly. It'll make sure that like the surge is contained and won't just try to suck too much power, right? Like it'll it's a closed loop then. And so but instead what you do is you make the entire box into the time machine.
Yeah.
And
okay. So my original thought was, instead of him making a time machine, he makes a machine that cures diseases, and he gave it his DNA to make sure that it eradicates all life within the machine except for what's supposed to be there, right? So it's
this is what I see. I think we do need to cut the scene and just roll to see if this actually happens.
Yeah, I agree. So we got three different ideas.
But this is what I imagine happening. If everything goes to your favor, this is what will happen. He'll say, test the machine.
Yep.
And the power will go out as normal.
Yep.
You will have been transported back in time.
Yep.
And
but
here's the question though. How do you prove to him that it worked? There must be some sort of visual cue or some sort of way of telling on this side,
glows, right?
Yeah, the time machine glows, but like you can make a time machine glow, right?
Yeah.
Let's say that there must be some indicator from this side of like the terminal where you can tell that something's been transported.
I'm trying to think of, maybe this makes it too complicated, but I was thinking, what if
likely so?
Because we talked about how if you teleport, then it's not a space time teleporter. Or what if they like teleport to another dimension that's exactly the same? And they're like, what if so it's like the same room, nothing changes. And so they basically went through a similar, almost the exact same timeline, but step over. So nothing changes. But
I think that's too complicated. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking that would be like you teleport, but then also everything is exactly the same and you wouldn't notice.
So here's the question is, how do you prove to Alistair that the time machine worked? That's the first question. Like, 'cause you can't really
what if we did master space-time travel? And so we actually do teleport the entire thing.
Because this is the problem, right? Like, you can't go back in time. Like, the only way to make this work. Oh, this is what you do. You have someone go back in time 3 seconds. And then they're here, and the time machine is still here. Right?
That's a good one. Yeah. That's how
that's the only way. That's the only way it doesn't like create go make a new prime timeline, is if you go back in time when the time machine exists, right?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get around.
That would be the ultimate goal of this, right? Is that you can go back in time as long as the time machine exists. You can go back in time and then back, and so there's no reason to there's no paradox at all, right? You're just going back and forth through time with the same time machine. So let's just say that like he sends you send one of you through.
How about this? How about we send
3 seconds?
In Back to the Future, what he does is he teleports them like 3 minutes into the future. So he disappears. 3 minutes later, he shows up. Then he disappears. He disappears and then comes back. And you're like, okay, it works.
That works. So you wait for that tense moment that happens, right? And then he says, perfect. But that doesn't work, because if you made the whole box the time machine.
Well, yeah, because either way, the box still works. I mean, it's just like
this is where we have to roll, right? Because there's two options.
No.
One of them is we eradicate Alistair, and the whole machine wasn't even a time machine. Like the rest of the workplace was actually an eradication, like a curing disease machine, and we cure the disease of Alistair in the room. The other option is we time traveled Prime, who is in the room, and then you shoot him because you're like, I have the time machine now. You just proved it to me, so now we don't need you anymore, and you still lost. Or if it goes well in your favor, Alistair, you just shoot him and you win and take the time machine. right?
Yeah, we just need to stop here and roll.
I think
because that once we know who wins, then we can tell we can decide which way it goes. You're right.
I did want to just quick mention, like, it could just be, we could have just developed some sort of trickery where, we were talking about the time travel being a box. And what we could have done is we could have made it look like the teleporter or the transporter, the time machine was doing something when it was just like our own design of trickery or something.
Yeah, the thing that's the most
hard.
compelling to me, because of how much focus we put on this like prime original stuff,
the prime idea where
is that you transport the whole room back in time so that he's not prime anymore. But I guess that really only works if the time machine isn't here.
Yeah, right? It's like we're like conflicting it. We have to both show that it worked, apparent, and teleport it without noticing. That's like
it makes sense if the power goes out, right? That has happened before, and that can create some distraction. It's possible he just says test it, and the test is you go back in time, the time machine isn't there,
and he gets angry and shoots him.
Yep. But okay, let's just roll.
Oh yeah. What if like when he
let's just roll, Adam. Let's just roll. We need to figure out like who wins because then we can just decide.
Sure. Yeah.
The first thing we need to figure out is these last two dice are wild.
Oh, you're right.
Is this the scene conclusion?
Yeah, this is given to Adam.
Do we conclude this scene? Does Adam conclude this scene and decide what happens, and then we decide how it goes from there, right? Because Adam can just say, "Yeah, we trick you," right? And it goes well for me.
That's true. Because Adam, you chose to resolve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we set the scene. Yeah.
All right. I just don't want us to go too far because if like I lose, then and I somehow get a great roll, like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but we do need to decide how the scene went, right?
Yeah.
Was it good, bad, or neutral?
I think it's probably neutral because if we succeed in some form, we all have to kind of die or collapse. We can't all exist forever.
Yeah.
There has to be some sort of like closed loop. And so it's like, yeah, if we succeed, but don't like all die in the sense where the prime dies.
Right.
We have to like go back. We have to resolve, which means we're all going to basically disappear.
Yeah.
Or at least go back to I don't know if we determine we go back to our own timeline or we all cease to exist because we closed it.
I think it ceased to exist, but let's just go ahead and roll now. And we can decide based on how well it goes for all of us, what the end result is. So go ahead and click random side.
You gave me a black one.
Yeah, because it's neutral.
Oh.
So
right, white and black.
Could you roll mine too, Kib?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Kib, you just got a.
Do I roll all 5 of these?
Yep. And then they cancel each other out, right?
Yeah. Oh, dang.
So I got a black 3. Caleb got a white 1.
Oof. I got 2.
Yeah, Adam got a white 2.
It's not good for any of us.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So let's see here. Fiasco. Let's take a look at how that goes. Aftermath table.
Yeah, so it does eradicate, but it eradicates all of us, and so we're just like,
everyone does. Oh. Let's see. Who got the highest of a number of a color?
I did. I got the highest 3 black, and
black.
Adam got the highest white as a 2.
Okay, so black 3 says harsh. Crap in a bag harsh. A lifetime of medication harsh. A big black cloud of hurt is going to rain all over you. The things you need to happen are not going to. Simple as that.
Holy crap. Yeah, okay.
And then what did you get, Adam?
2.
White 2?
Yeah.
Merciless. You might not be dead on the outside, but you sure as heck are dead on the inside. The emotional or mental wounds you have suffered will never heal. The future is a brick wall.
Okay.
And then
all right. I think the cycle has to loop forever for Christian Table. With that, the future is a brick wall.
Yeah,
I think he continues to cycle through forever.
Yeah, so maybe another thing, we have all these theories about how the time travel stuff works, and you're just wrong about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I got it real quick. I got a white 1, which means dreadful. You are certainly dead, probably from a self-inflicted wound. People you care about are also probably dead, maybe through your own stupid, ugly failure. To say that you are effed up is an insult to effed upness. You have redefined the term.
Wow. Okay. How
yeah.
about Alistair jumps in the time machine to try and, or no, the time machine. We said the time machine's not there.
So this is the question. It just depends on what happened, right? What actually happened in that moment? Like, my favorite part of it is the whole room is a time machine. You go back in time. He shoots the guy. It does nothing.
Yep. I think we just went back in time a few minutes.
Right. Exactly.
Because we wanted the time machine to stay there. So you shoot the guy, and then you jump in the time machine like, ha, I'll take it. I'll use it for my own bidding. And then we look at the blood stain on Chris Welch's lab coat, and I'm like, that's not the time machine. And you turn it on and it eradicates you.
That makes sense to me.
I just had like a
But I think, okay, this is the issue. If the whole room is a time machine and you go back 3 minutes, 3 minutes ago there was a different Chris sitting in that same chair.
Right.
So I think what happens is you think it's gonna work. That like, oh yeah, he's not the Prime anymore. But the problem is the Prime is sitting on top of the regular one, and so he in anger shoots him. And maybe at first nothing happens, and he's like, "Oh man, darn it! Like you tricked me!" And then he runs into the time machine. He gets eradicated, like you just described. But then everyone starts to like, what's happening? And you look over to the guy in the chair, and there's like 2 phases of him, kind of like all in the same location, and you're like, "Oh crap!" Like the real Chris was there in the chair too, right? Like because we just went back 3 minutes.
How about this? How about because one of the Chris Welch things was like you're gonna need like medication or like what was it? How about because they were stacked on top of one another, he doesn't actually die, but the previous one dies, but like he's just brain dead. He's just a vegetable. Like
what if? That's what I was thinking. Like we talked about how I get trapped in a loop. What if, maybe all the things that happen, but the Christian table like somehow survives it because he's like the oldest or the initial one. And he's like, why am I still alive? And then he realizes that now he has to like start all over. And so he has to like fix the machine and then go back and try again.
I like to think that what happens is, he shoots it's phasing in and out. It's the 2 of them are right there. And then people's like from Alpha onward, they start to phase out of existence. Right.
Yeah. Wait, hold up.
But we get to Adam's character and he's
wait. What if Christian Table is the Prime? What if this is his timeline? That's the answer, right? We were like, we saved the original Chris Welch, and so we're not going to all fade. And then they start fading, like one by one, like you said. But then we realize, wait, how far back did we go? And it's like, oh, it's only 3 minutes. And then they're like, which means that was the real one. And we all fade out, but the original one is still there because it's his timeline. But then why would the rest of us?
We were talking about how Caleb said that like we didn't understand it. And that's why I was like, it doesn't really have to make sense. It just has to be like story-wise.
It didn't work like you thought it was going.
Like my character is the oldest. Like he was the one who originally designed the time machine. Right. And so he was like, I want to go back to prevent Alistair from doing his thing. And so basically, over time he tries and tries again. There's more and more Alistairs that are helping him build this machine. And so he's actually like sort of making progress, but now they're all dead. And he's like, oh, I'm still alive. He's like, I have to start all over. I basically got absolutely nowhere. And so I have to rebuild the machine, go back in time and start all over again because I didn't go anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be like, this is the Prime. It's just like, oh, I have to just create the machine.
I don't understand how time works at all. I must start again. Yeah.
Like it didn't make any sense. It's like
wrong.
Yeah, and
machine functioned didn't affect time in the proper way. maybe
because he's the start of the loop. That's what I'm saying. Is like Christian
he's the
Cable
start of the
is the
loop.
start of the loop, and now the loop
Maybe-
has collapsed, but he still exists.
I'd like to think that when Alistair put a gun to the original guy's head, he said something along the lines of, "Huh, he's the original," or he's the current Chris. I wonder what will happen if I put a bullet through his brain, right? And it's like the implication is that it will make all of you die, but we've never firmly established it.
Yep.
Yeah. So now I'm curious because Adam, I could definitely see like, okay, Adam, or Christian Table, the first Chris, is now surrounded by just nothingness, right? All of his other originals or his clones have disappeared, and he's like, I gotta have to start over again. He hears like some sirens in the distance, as like some government official has been looking into this the whole time, and now all of Alistair's assets are going to be liquidated, and he's not going to have those resources anymore to do the time machine. And we just look at like you Chris are trying to decide what to do, and your three options are: run, use the time machine room one more time to go somewhere else, or go in the eradication chamber and be like, I want to end this. Like I've lived too long. This is all. So what would you choose?
Yeah, what, Connor or me?
You, Christian Table.
I
Chris
think
remaining.
What if he just presses the resolution button? And
that would be too good, though.
Well, I mean, then you would have to go on the run, right?
Yeah,
like
right.
Alistair's still
that's why I'm thinking. That's why I'm thinking it's not a good ending, because he wanted to, set things right or to get the truth so it won't go wrong again, but it went wrong again, and so that's why I think he goes back and he goes back again. He goes back in time, where it's like, okay, he doesn't die, but he's stuck in this loop, and it's like it's almost like it's inevitably in a cycle. It's almost like the loop like builds up, and then just collapses and restarts. And
so it is the last shot we get basically of you knocking out the butler, putting on the butler outfit, and then walking out to give the briefcase to Alistair and the other Chris for the first time again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the first time after he stole it, basically.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's like almost it already happened. That part is almost like it never happened ever again. He gave the stuff to him, and then almost like he ceases to exist because now Alistair's future has changed. Now he has this document from the future self that no longer is gone, and so somehow I'm still, or he like goes back or something, and I'm still alive because I went here.
Yeah, maybe it's he's calling Chris in for something completely different. Right, or I guess it wasn't.
Yeah, maybe he goes back
It's Chris.
in time.
It's Chris meeting Alistair, saying, "I have this idea for a time machine."
Yes.
Right. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the only like he maybe Christian Table was about to disintegrate, but he doesn't because he makes it to the time machine fast enough.
Yes, maybe I like that. Because if Alistair originally like disintegrated, it's like. Or like maybe he doesn't, and then maybe we don't do this. I was just thinking, I guess the result is like he goes in and he like shoots Alistair, and then he starts to fade away.
Yeah.
Or he like, because the whole thing, the whole reason Christian Table is alive is that is like the cycle is continued, and he ends the cycle and dies.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I don't know if that's a good or bad ending.
No. That I like that because this Chris here is not the Chris that we followed, right? So this is a completely different Chris. And you have Christian Table just walk up, and he's walking up with the briefcase like he would normally do. And you're like, and we're wondering like, because he's talking about like, I have an idea for a time machine. So you're like, what's in the briefcase? Like that doesn't make any sense. He's not bringing him the plans this time. And he open the briefcase and pull out a gun and just and blow his brains out. And then you just shoot
Alistair.
Yeah, Alistair. Yeah, and then you look at Chris and you say, "You'll thank me later," and just disappear
and disintegrate. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because okay.
And that's why Chris Welch will need help with his brain, because he just watched himself walk into a room and kill his benefactor and then disintegrate, and he's like, I don't want to make a time machine anymore.
And then this is always the last thing we see is blood on your lab coat.
Yeah.
From Alistair's brain. Right? From Alistair dying.
That's so
and it's one of those
good.
things where it's just like, okay, that's obviously not an actual loop, but it's still like a full circle moment.
It's a pseudo loop, yeah.
Like you had blood on your coat the first time from something different, but you still have blood on your coat.
Oh yeah. Oh man. That was
Okay, there you
scary.
go. I think that works. Man, this is just like any time travel story ever. It is way too confusing.
Yeah.
But I think we did figure out a good ending.
We had a solid like go-to. It was like, we don't really know how it works. It doesn't make any sense because it's time travel. It's like you could do that because it's.
And
it's like
I'm
puzzle.
so glad that we stayed in one location and did the time travel. The only time travel that happened was in the past, into the past, the exact amount every time, basically. So it made it simpler.
You never got to
Cool.
the server passwords though.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was gonna have Alistair at some point like try to hack into the machine and like figure out or lock you guys out of it or something like that, right?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too.
And we can say that's probably what happened in the past, like in one of the original timelines, like when Christian Table was doing the stuff, is he like tried to they tried to lock him out of the server and stuff to anyway.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Cool. Well, there you go. That was Fiasco. This went pretty much exactly as I thought it was going to. Once I knew that we were going to do a time travel story with Adam. This is exactly what. Yeah, exactly. Adam has watched so many movies like this, so it got pretty complicated, but I liked how it ended. That was fun. There you go.
And the best part of Fiasco is spending an hour figuring out how it ends.
yeah, for sure. Cool. Well, there you go. That's Fiasco for you.
Thanks for
usually,
playing.
Yeah, usually the fiascos we do are way more silly and nowhere near as complicated. But this was fun. This is a nice change of pace for the fiascos we usually do. I do like the funniest moment for me was when we saw the Chris in a maid's outfit as one of the characters. Zooming out.
Yeah. I'm pretty positive I've only done serious ones with you guys.
Yeah, I think
I don't think I've been a part of any silly ones.
Most of the ones that we do on this channel have been totally silly ones. We did a Muppets one last. So that was
like, what kind of like ending did you get?
The main human character who was like because it's like Muppets and humans, right? The human was like the villain and got arrested. And the Muppets escaped to space and survived because one of them was an alien the whole time.
What in the world?
Yeah. It made more sense actually watching the whole thing, but yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
I feel like the one story that we did with the play within a play. I mean, I guess that was serious, but it was also like not like death. There was no death involved. And we all kind of got good endings. It was all like 7s, and we're like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. And the best ending. Yeah. I think you ended up getting the best ending, and you're like became super famous for playing with multiple.
I think there's a different version of the Aftermath table that's a little bit less crazy. Like it's not as dark. Kinder. Yeah, a little kinder. That I think makes sense for like a more silly fiasco, but I think it made sense for this one. This was a little bit more serious. So
okay.
Yeah,
cool.
We also like a lot of what we were doing was very unclear as to whether or not we were truly moving forward with a good plan or if we were screwed the whole time. So it worked out well.
Yep.
Well, yeah, because we kept having like bad and then good and then neutral, and we're like, okay, I don't know, nothing's really happening for one of us.
Yeah.
Probably because we didn't know what we wanted to do. Like, what was the goal?
Yeah.
Like, the goal was just that it kept going, and we needed to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like it was fun to have Connor throw in that wrench of him jump into the time machine and go back in time. That put us on the path to what this actually was. Because before we were just like, well, I guess this guy went back in time, but we don't really know why or what his plan is.
Yeah, don't really know why or what he's doing with it Yeah.
I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah, that worked out super well. I liked it.
All right, cool. That's been our fiasco. I think we're done. Thanks for playing, guys. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Adam. Even though you
have another comment, Adam.
From your 14
I had another comment. I was thinking, like, what if I know it changes the ending, but it makes it like even worse. is like, what if, okay, it involves like the server password. He sees like in the same briefcase, he sees like a note that's just like a password or something. And he's like, what is that? And he like investigate, he's like, oh my gosh, like what just happened? But he's like, I really need to find out. And so he
Talking
kind of
about the Chris that survived and saw the
he
guy get shot.
he sneaks into the lab and he finds all of the information on the, or, the half completed information. And he's like, he didn't actually hear the pitch. Right. And he's like, this is genius. And then he like looks around and he steals it. And then that's how it ends. It's like it continues to loop.
I think we described that this guy was the one who did know the time machine and was coming to Alistair for funds to make the time machine. Remember?
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you established that.
But we could definitely have him go in there with a server password, find the half finished plans, and be like, "Oh, perfect! I can just make it right now." And then he's like, "Oh no, we're gonna do the whole thing over again." Right?
Yeah. And then the loop continues. I didn't want to like change it, but I was like, okay, the loop does end. So it's like, did he succeed? And the point was, you think he succeeds, but he doesn't. Because I was just trying to make it work for me. There's a director's
cut. There's a director's cut that has that ending.
Yeah.
I was just trying to make it worse for me because I was like, I got a 2. So I was like, is that worse? It's like he thinks he succeeds, he dies, but also continues to loop at the same time, which is even worse. So I was just, and also implements the server password just in a small way, where he's just like, oh,
yeah.
And continue it. Alternate ending. Really? Okay. All right.
Cool stuff. That's been Fiasco. Thanks for playing, guys. And thank you for watching. Adios.